Editor, remove this from the video. Oh wait, it's me. I'm the editor. Never mind. Hello everyone, and welcome to the live review of Zelda 1. It is my first and final Zelda game. I have played every single other mainline Zelda game, and I was so hecking excited to finally get to this one. I was saving it for last intentionally. And now that I've finally gotten through it, I feel like, honestly, good decision. I think this game really benefits from having future knowledge. There were a lot of things in there that were super confusing to me, especially since I'm playing the original release, and I will make it known right off the bat that I did use save states. I was not finishing this game without save states. To all the people who played it back in the day, and for Adventure of Link players, to everyone who played Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 back in the day without save states, hecking massive congrats to you. I played through all of the first Zelda game and second quest, but I did use save states and I do not regret that. I very much recommend that if anyone wants to experience this game in the modern day, save states definitely help. That said, it was a brilliant game. This game is awesome. Let me get right into the intro. So shout out to Zelda 1 for being a game that, despite being made in 1986, still carries to this day. I didn't expect it. I kind of went into it going like, alright, okay, like, you know, I know like A Link to the Past is really what caused like the entire Zelda phenomenon to kick off, so we'll see like how good Zelda 1 is, but it has a really intriguing gameplay loop, and I'll get into that when we get into the gameplay section of things. The story itself, a little bit simple, and you know, it's just like go rescue the princess and come back, but there is a little bit more depth to it than I even expected in this game, and I've done a decent amount of thinking about the Zelda stories, as we all know, so I will get to that when we get to story. In terms of like just the number of secrets hidden in the world, and like blow up a random rock, push over something to the side, like who knows what lurks behind that corner. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. You guys saw me for second quest to make an entire map of the field and like track everything because I really wanted to get everything in the game. I had a blast doing it. So yeah, just massive shout outs to pretty much like everyone who made this game back in 1986 for somehow making it still hold up nearly 40 years later. This is kind of insane. That said, yeah, I'm leaving a little bit of gameplay going in the background over there. You can kind of check out what the game looked like to play it. But I am going to be rating things about this game. This is usually what I do. But usually, I would start by rating the characters and story. There's not too much of character and story to rate here. I mean, there's one character. Maybe two characters max. 3 if we count Impa. And then the story is mostly told to us through the manual. So I actually have the manual open here, and I am gonna go into manual a little bit and just kind of like see if we can play that. So give me a second, folks. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, appreciate it. Also, friends, Romans, countrymen, welcome. I do these things live for a reason. I really enjoy hearing what people have to say about the game and about their own thoughts about whatever else comes up. So if you have any thoughts, feel free to share. I would love to have those. Okay, let's see. Let's pull up the manual real fast. So I have that set up here. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that leads me to the first topic that I wanted to discuss. As I said, usually I would rate the characters and story. I can't really rate the characters and story, because there's not much to rate. But what I can do is I can talk about them. So today, story and characters is going to become one category. And I do want to like kind of go over this in a little bit of detail because I mentioned it. Modern Zelda games manuals to get a 0 out of 10 for not existing. I feel like game manuals continue to exist for Zelda games, right? When did they stop? Like I know like Phantom Hourglass had like something, right? And that was not too long ago. Does Tears of the Kingdom have a manual? Probably doesn't. Yeah, so the story of Zelda 1 is this. You're Link, you're like 10 years old, you're this small kid who saw an old lady being accosted by monsters and decided to save her. And then now that you've saved her, she's like, actually, I was sent to find a hero to save the princess, because the princess has been kidnapped by Ganon, but before she got kidnapped, she hid these things called the Triforce pieces throughout the land. So if you could go get all of those and go rescue the princess, that would be neat. I'm totally pinning the entire hopes of the kingdom on a 10-year-old. Goodbye! And then Impa proceeds to vanish from the story and never show up again, because now it's up to you to save the princess. And I love it. It's genuinely so cute. So you get to go on this little adventure and you meet all these little merchants, and there's fairies and they're like here to help you, and there's menacing dungeons and they're gonna freaking kill you multiple times over. And there's like bats and giant eyeball monsters and all sorts of cool things hidden around every corner, as I was talking about before. And I think at the end you get to fight Ganon, which probably shows up here. No, it doesn't. It just shows you like a giant flame, and it goes like, "This is your future child. Suffer." But yeah, it's good. And it actually has surprisingly more depth than I would have originally thought. So I was thinking about this recently from the perspective of Zelda, because, you know, as I said, I've done a lot of thinking about the Zelda series. And so we can compare this to like all the other damsels in distress in video games, right? I think the most apt comparison is probably like Bowser and Peach. And whereas there's no actual reason given to us for Bowser usually kidnapping Peach over and over again, like I'm a huge Mario fan too, don't get me wrong, but like Bowser kind of just, I don't know, does he need a friend? Like, why is he kidnapping Peach? We don't quite know. Ganon, however, is completely different than Bowser. Bowser's not so bad of a guy. Ganon is evil, right? Like, he's just a terrible freaking villain. So my original question when I was thinking about this the first time is, why didn't Ganon kill Zelda, right? Like, think about it logically, right? Like, why didn't he just walk in, get the princess? Clearly she's under your control. She's like evil and bad and you hate her, right? You're evil and bad, so you hate her. So you gotta just kill her, right? I think this specific setup makes it so that you know exactly why he doesn't. Because with the princess splitting the Triforce into 8 pieces and hiding them, she's the only one who knows where the Triforce pieces still are, which means Ganon had to keep her alive. And that actually displays Princess Zelda's wisdom. So here we are in the first ever installment of the game series, and Zelda has already represented wisdom in making the decision to essentially hold herself hostage, keeping the knowledge that she has contained within her mind and blackmailing Ganon with it. That's so cool. So genuinely shout out to the princess from Zelda 1 for, like, in the heat of the moment, coming up with a plan to keep herself alive. That's so cool. I love that. If I had a nickel for every time a 10-year-old Link saved an old person from monsters without a weapon in the start of their adventure, I'd have 2 nickels. I mean, kinda true. Wait, the hero of legend fails, though. That doesn't count. Hold on. What, does it count if the old man dies anyways? Shit. Oh no. Yeah, this does seem to be a recurring trend. And in fact, many of the things in this game that kind of just started here for the first time are gonna become recurring trends, right? Like, obviously, fairies, being like the healing creatures of the series have continued. There are dungeons in pretty much every Zelda game. There are like these merchants selling things with coins and stuff. The currency of rupees started in this game and continued all the way down. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it does keep going. Alright, let's get back to the gameplay a little bit. Gameplay. And I'll put some of my, I think this is from the first stream, so I'm kind of just like getting used to the game. I gotta contrast this with the last one, honestly. But looking at the gameplay loop of Zelda 1, it's actually, once again, quite intuitive. And yet, I think it's... So I haven't seen any other Zelda game do this successfully. The gameplay loop of Zelda 1 essentially forces you to maintain full health for as long as possible. And then, once you lose full health, you lose your sword beams, and now you're kind of screwed. So that specific mechanic does maintain its way into the rest of the series. I'm pretty sure, like most of the games, have a thing where if you're at full health, you get to use Master Sword beams. If you're not at full health, you don't get to use it. But I feel like after a certain point, pretty early on in the series' lifespan, that became a thing that's associated with endgame. I feel like usually you do not acquire the sword beams that come from your Master Sword until endgame, which incentivizes you to maintain full health, but only when you're near the end of the game and already have enough hearts. The fact that sword beams are, yeah, exactly, sword beams are so broken in this game, and I think it's intentional. Like, because the sword beams are broken, you try to keep your heart count at full for as much of the time as you can, but if you're keeping your heart count at full, every time you gain a heart, it is now harder to do so. So genuinely very cool, I love that. It's the lack of variety in Zelda 1 that makes the sword beams more important than anything. I think so, and it's also the lack of ranged options which do damage to late game enemies. So this is a great segue point to move to the end. Hold on, let me open up like one of the final ones. Maybe like here. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering how my experience of the games was, I do have all of these out on YouTube. I finally did it. I put every video from this out on YouTube. So it's all there. Let's put me in like a difficult room, I think. There are so many in this dungeon here. I'm gonna pick a random one and you can watch me die a little bit. But because most of the enemies that take like a lot of damage, so let's say like Wizrobes, they take a lot of damage to kill. You can't do any damage to them with the magic beams. I don't think you can damage them with arrows. You're just kind of like boomerangs also, they're like completely useless against him. So it kind of forces you to use sword beams if you really like, either you gotta get up close and stab them with a sword, or you gotta snipe them from the distance with the sword beams, and you can only do that when you're at full health. So what this means is when you're at the beginning of the game, you have 3 hearts, and you're gonna only have 3 hearts when you come back to life. So each time you come back to life over and over again, you start off with the Master Sword at full beams. And you can use them, and it's cool, and it keeps you alive. Then the first time you complete a dungeon, you gain an extra heart. When doing that, you're now gonna start off every time, like when you wake up after dying, you start with 3 out of 4 hearts, which means you're still kinda close to having Master Sword beams. As long as you can collect 1 heart before losing any health, you've got the full Master Sword beams, you can use them. But now that you've finished one part of the first dungeon, or I think as long as you collect a heart, right? So even if you like get one from the overworld, if you finish the first dungeon, etc., as long as you've shown that you know how to play the gameplay loop incentivizes you by making it a little bit harder to get that specific bonus. So until you need it, as long as you need it, you have Master Sword beams for as long as you need it until you get the next heart. Like I love it, it's so cool. The first time I found out that you gain an extra heart and then you come back to life at 3 hearts and not your max hearts, I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. This is negative feedback as it's taught to you. This is so cool. And then you can see as you play the game, let's say you collect like, I don't know, 8 hearts, right? Now you're starting off with 3 and you're like, ah, shit, okay, I gotta go like really find out, like how am I gonna get to 8 hearts from 3? Okay, like let me just kill a bunch of enemies in the beginning area, play it safe until I've collected enough hearts, and then I can, now that I have sword beams, I can go into the next dungeon. Or you might start mapping out where the fairies are, which is what I did. And the manual actually tells you to do this. I was reading the manual at one point. I forgot which point of the manual it's in, but one of the little notes underneath the manual has like a little line that goes, if you like remember, like go find one of the like nice fairies and make sure every time you wake up you go back to the fairies to like refill your heart counts. And I love it, it's so good. No lost VODs this time. Yes, I know, right? Oh gosh, I hate that Twitch doesn't just manually upload them, or sorry, it doesn't just automatically upload them. You have to actually do it manually, which sucks. Yo, Super Slick, how's it going? Yeah, so the way that the gameplay loop works incentivizes you at first to maintain as many hearts as you can. And then at a certain point, it starts incentivizing you to go and collect information about the world and use it, which is really cool. And then at the 3rd level, so now when you're in like high tier, you start learning where the teleportation rooms are. And the fact that it changes what you're incentivized to do at each level is what makes this like genuinely top tier game design. Like early game, it just incentivizes you to go die and come back. Like that's it, right? Because you're gonna start really close to full hearts anyways, it doesn't matter. Mid game, it's like, okay, you better like get good at beating easy enemies or like find a path to the fairies, right? And then late game, you have access to this guy, the portal room guy. And you can go in here from basically anywhere across the map, as long as you know where the 4 portal rooms are, and warp to anywhere. And this spot right here is right below one of the fairies, so you'll see me warp here pretty often throughout my play of the game. When you go up north of this, it's like a fairy tile, and you can refill your hearts there. So once you know that, now you're like, okay, I gotta figure out where each place is in, I guess, like, in the closest way to get from any place you are to a portal room that can take you to the fairies. And then now you can explore the map freely, because you can go anywhere. As long as you can come back to the portal room, you got full health again. It's great, it's really cool. I feel like it might be due to a limitation that you're forced to come back with 3 hearts, but they were really smart about it. I actually feel like it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be too much extra space in order to add 1 extra point. So like this is from the perspective of like saving data space and like coding. It's essentially just a number, right? Like the number of hearts you come back with is a number. You'd have to, however, okay, actually it would be slightly harder because you'd have to make the reference point, instead of being like a static integer, it would have to be a reference point to a different variable. So that is a little bit harder, that's true. It might have been due to limitations, but considering the fact that they were able to make an entire second quest, I don't know, they had enough data. If they really wanted to, they could have gone, okay, come back with full health. But it is cool. It's so cool. Restriction of health also makes the magic rod the second most important item of the game to you. Oh, since it's good long-range item that is multi-use. Interesting. I feel like the magic rod did not do damage to anything that I cared about damaging. I don't know if this is true to you as well, Pumpkin. But I feel like when I was playing this game, I was like, this rod does nothing. Like, I feel like anything that I actually wanted to kill was immune to the magic rod. You used it a lot when you played. Huh, okay. Maybe I could have used it more, honestly. And that brings me to my next category. We've talked about the gameplay. Let's talk about how that gameplay gets implemented. I'm gonna rate some items. So, hold on. Topic. Items. There we go. And I think people can see this now. Hold on. Let me pull up the ratings. Hey, there we go. All right. So this is gonna go a little bit differently than I usually do. Usually I use tier list maker and I go through and just move things onto tiers based on where I think they are. But hey, we have the manual and I might as well use it. And I think I can annotate it too. So let me set that up. Yes, enemies are a category. I will be talking about enemies. It's really cool to me that in this game, so many random things became like constants of the series. You can see this in Fire Emblem as well with Shadow Dragon, where like Christmas Cavaliers became a trope that gets used in every other game in the series. Same thing here with like a lot of stuff, so love it. I think it's so cool. Let's go ahead and start doing some ratings. Some heckin' ratings. Can people see this maybe? Hopefully. All right, heart containers. So in the ratings, by the way, I'm gonna be rating these on like my own subjective opinion, all right? Like this is not anything to do with how good the item actually is. However, it kind of is, just a little, okay? Like I'm just saying, my opinion is right. Okay, of course not, but I'm gonna go for it anyways. So heart containers, you know, they're pretty cool. I will say one thing that annoyed me a little bit about this game is that the heart containers that you can access normally are fine, but there are some heart containers where it's like you can either take a potion or you can take a heart container, and that's a trap, friends. Apparently that is a hecking trap. You are not supposed to take the potion because if you do, you cannot get the heart container and you have like screwed yourself out of 3 or 4 hearts. So that actually really sucks. Oh, is the bot down? Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, let me just restart the gacha bot. Give me a second. It was taking a little while to load earlier too. Oh, and thanks for the hydrate and the posture check. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and get me some water while I wait for this thing to reload. There we go. Trying to find a heart container by spamming the candle at every tree in the game. Okay, true. However, it was worth it. Oh, hold on, I think I got muted. Alright, can people hear me? Alright, we're back. Yes, cool. I don't know why, sometimes something just freaking mutes itself on this. It's kind of terrible. Editor will remove this as well. You know what, I should actually do this, hold on. Okay, hopefully that didn't jump scare too many chat members. And then hopefully I can see that when I edit, right? Isn't that what video editors do? I'm a terrible video editor, honestly. Music feels a bit high though? Oh. Okay, that's kind of a problem. Let's put the music down. We can't have that. Can people hear me nice? Okay, good, cool. Yeah, people who are seeing this, people who are seeing this on YouTube are gonna see a giant cut between this bit and the other bit, I bet. Only speedrunners take the potion. Ah, okay. You know what? That's the thing I didn't actually consider. But also, to be fair, speedrunning didn't exist when this game was made, did it? Like, I don't think 1986, okay? Speedrunning was not real. So the game devs didn't prepare for that, is the point I'm making here. They got lucky, is what happened. Oh, gosh. Okay, so we're rating items, that's what we're doing. We got distracted trying to fix some stuff, but we fixed it, maybe. The music might be really quiet now. Never mind, it's back. Okay, whatever, I don't care. Tell me if the music gets either too loud or too quiet. Feel free at any point. But yeah, so speaking of items, heart containers, I think it's fine. You know, this is something that became a mainstay in the franchise. Pretty much every game in the series has this. Heck yeah, I appreciate it. 5 out of 5. Also, let's get a thicker pencil. 5 out of 5. Let's go. This was a big playground game back in the game. We'd share what we were looking through and what we'd done. Yes, okay, that's a really good point, Marionette. Yeah, that is one thing that I really like about old-style games. The fact that because there were no walkthroughs, because there was no way to actually get information other than comparing with people, you essentially just had friends who had the game, and you compared nonetheless. So, I've spoken about this before, but I grew up in a bit of a time bubble, which is to say that I played Phantom Hourglass as my first ever Zelda game, but I did so with no access to internet. However, I did have one other friend with Phantom Hourglass, so my friend and I would meet up at random points, and we would like chat about all sorts of things. We'd be like, okay, like I went here and I found this thing and it was like so cool. And like, and in Phantom Hourglass you can also write notes in the game, so I would do that. Same thing here, where I found myself keeping notes and being like, okay, what do I need to do to memorize the teleportation directions? Okay, cool. Oh, this old man told me a secret about like this one place. All right, neat. I'm going there next. I got a letter from this place. I'm gonna go give it to the old lady, and now I've got potions. Heck yeah. So love it. I think that's really cool. It does feel a little annoying to play if you have to search for secrets in so many different ways, but I think the other thing to sort of pick up on is that older games were expected to be played for a longer amount of time. So nowadays, with so many good games coming out, there's really no time to play all the games you want to play, right? Like, game devs have to compete for your attention. But that isn't the case back in the day. People would essentially make games that were meant to be played over and over again for as long as possible until people got like super bored and tired about it. So fair enough. Like, I see why they're making these decisions. I personally would have said that it's almost impossible, but unlike in AOL, I found that by making a map for myself, which I did do, it was pretty fun. By making a map for myself, I was able to keep track of everything, even in Second Quest. I did have, I think, 2 or 3 hints from chat, maybe a little bit more than that. Specifically the whistle hint, I think, was super useful. That led me to discovering a group of secrets I probably wouldn't have found otherwise and would have needed to look up. But other than that, I think we found pretty much everything by just going through the map with a fine-tooth comb, and I loved it. But anyways, back to the point, because I haven't rated a single item yet. 5 out of 5, heart containers, a mainstay of the series. Love it. Ooh, Lethal Neutrino, have you played Tunic? Okay, so I was going to play Tunic after this game. However, Hades 2 comes out in 2 days. So I'm playing Hades 2. I apologize to all the people who wanted me to play Tunic. I also wanted to play Tunic. I really did. But like, they announced last week that the sequel to a highly anticipated indie game was coming out, and they gave me 2 weeks to prepare. That's not fair. So I will be playing Hades 2 on stream for at least a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be a game I stream long-term. If it isn't a game I stream long-term, then Tunic will probably take its place. Either Tunic or Hollow Knight, which will be fun. This style inspired the in-game manual for that game. Yes, I've heard about that. Part of the challenge is figuring it out. Yeah, don't tell me anything more about Tunic. I am going to play it. I don't want to know anything. I want to just walk into it completely unknowing. So, but yeah, I have heard of that and I love it. If you like that sort of thing, by the way, like if you enjoy figuring things out about the game world, highly recommend Chants of Sennaar. Not similar to Zelda 1, but similar to Tunic. Okay, anyways. I do miss that style of pre-internet gaming, yes. Nowadays, I agree that things are solved. However, when Tears of the Kingdom came out for the first time, I got access to the game a day early, which was nice, and my friend and I were playing it the same way. That brought back those feelings to me of like the olden days, and this did the same. So I will say Zelda 1 experience, they're great. Okay, but we got super sidetracked. Items, friends. Fairies are items, apparently. Fairies are amazing. They get, however, I'm not gonna rate them 5 out of 5. You know why? Fairies don't freaking show up unless you're already at full hearts. Like, you saw this happen so many times. I think chat confirmed that this is literally a thing they programmed into the game, right? You only get fairies when you're at, like, full hearts. Sometimes you get fairies when you're not at full hearts. But, like, mostly you don't. It sucks. How much longer can we distract Lynn? Oh, for an eternity. I mean, y'all know why I do these live. I'm just saying. Not sure, but it sure seems like it. I think someone in chat literally said so, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. If anyone who knows the coding of this game it could also be bad Lynn luck. This is also valid. Shit. Ah. It's not my fault, okay? I tried so hard. They know that I don't like the fairies. They know that I got mad. I should have just come in here with the Majora's Mask Great Fairy thing, you know, like the mask from Majora's Mask. There's a Great Fairy Mask, okay? It exists. It's in MM. It like attracts fairies to you. Alright, moving on. There's a key, there's a magic key. I feel like I'm not as impressed by magic keys because it's just, to me it feels like hey, here's a cool aspect of game design in a dungeon, which is to say keys that you have to go get and then like put into doors. The magic key invalidates that, so I'm just not a fan of it, but like whatever. Here, it's an item, it exists. I think it comes back for Adventure of Link and then it never comes back again? Has the master key ever shown up in a game after? I don't think so. There's boss keys, but those are different. Boss keys usually unlock a boss room. Master keys can unlock any door in the game. I feel like we haven't had one since Zelda 2. So not only is it not important in this game, it also gets phased out. I don't like it. Normal keys, yeah, mainstay of the franchise. I think like every game with dungeons has these in it, so hey, cool enough, I guess. Here. 5 out of 5. Top tier. You know what? I should start rating things a little bit lower. If I start with 5 out of 5, we're not going to have any points left to give to things I actually like. Here, 4 out of 5. 3 out of 5 for average. 4 out of 5. We'll go 2 on the master key. Actually, you know what? We're dropping everything by 1 is what we're doing. We gotta leave space. Okay. Ah, yes. The step ladder. Controversial item of the century. I freaking hate the step ladder and love it in equal measure. Can I give it a freaking plus or minus 5 out of 5? This is what... No, wait! No! This is my chance! It works perfectly! No, look! It's actually a step ladder! I can prove it! Okay. So, the reason I don't like the ladder, the reason I like the ladder is that it essentially provides you more platforms to stand on that you can snipe enemies from. It's pretty cool. Also, you can access the second half of the map for free if you have the ladder. Otherwise, you gotta track all the way around through the Lost Woods, go up into the graveyard, and then come back to the east. And I'm not even, like, I didn't make that up. Like, that's exactly how you get to the second half of the map. But if you have the step ladder, you can cross it. Okay, it is, no, it is a step ladder. It is. So here's how it works, okay? You might be thinking to yourself, why is it a ladder, right? You might think, because how the ladder works... Hold on, I gotta pull up gameplay for this shit. Frick, I don't think I ever accessed anything with a ladder in this stream. I'm like in a random stream now, just looking. Okay, is this a ladder? No. No, this is important. This is important. You just said it was a ladder. You just said it was a step ladder. I'm so confused. It's okay. Ladder is a wait, no. Step ladder is a subcategory of ladder. I figured it out. It can be both. Squares are rectangles. Okay, hold on. Alright, you know what? I'm not gonna find... Eventually, I'll add a clip in here or something. Wait, I might find a clip. We gotta find a clip of the ladder. You know what? It might be in Dungeon 9. I think I used it in Dungeon 9, didn't I? Probably used it in Dungeon 9. Let's go look at that. Here. I feel like there were definitely ladders over lava in here somewhere, weren't there? There's gotta have been. Right near the beginning, maybe? No? Okay, I literally titled level 6 Snakes and Ladders. Okay, there are ladders. Yes, okay, perfect. Here, let me just put this up on the screen so people can see it. There. Alright, so as you can see, the ladder, you just kind of extend in front of you. You can stand on squares that you otherwise couldn't stand on, just like I did right there. Alright? Which is cool. It's fine. It's totally okay. But the question that most people ask when they play this game is, why is it a ladder? It clearly functions like a bridge. It should have been the bridge item, right? However, I tell you it is a ladder. It is specifically a step ladder, and I can prove it. Because look at this, okay? The reason I don't like the ladder is that if you go here, so you see like as I extend myself out onto like the side, right? If I go down like that, I can't actually exit the ladder from any other direction than the direction I entered it. So like, let's say you walk onto the ladder, you can't skip off to the side. Even if there is a tile existing to the side, you cannot skip off onto it. You gotta get off the ladder from the same direction you came on. And that is why I tell you, it must be a step ladder. So watch this. This is the square, okay? And this is like a square you can't cross, alright? And this is the square that you can cross, alright? I'm gonna like shade this and this is like lava and bad. Behold, as I demonstrate to you the truth of this game. This is entirely too dramatic for what I'm going to draw. But look! The step ladder goes like this. And this is why enemies can't hit you. It makes so much sense. Like, Link is standing up here, alright? And he's got, like, I don't know, whatever. Like, a sword or something. And he's, like, stabbing down. But enemies don't even know. Like, they're, like, walking around over here. They're like, huh? Like, what's going on up there? See, it all makes sense. This is how we win. It's over. I have It's over, Canon. I have the high ground. This is an enemy, okay? Alright. Just pretend he's got horns, because he's bad and evil. There. Link uses the power of the Z axis to control the world. It's called The Legend of Zelda because Zelda stands for Z. Wait. Because Z stands for Zelda. There we go. I prove it to you now with math and science. Okay, but enemies can cross the bridge if you're also on it. I think I haven't seen an enemy cross a bridge, but it makes sense that they could. Yeah. I feel like the thing that I didn't like though is the fact that you can't. So like, let's say you're standing here and let's say this square is like not lava, right? So I was confused earlier because I assumed it was just laid flat across the ground. I was like, how come I can't walk off to the side and just get off here? And it's because you're on a height, okay? That's what I'm telling you. This is... This is correct. This is the way the stepladder works. Okay, anyways, I'm leaving this here and I'm rating the stepladder +5 and also -5. We spent a lot of time in second quest trying to get the stepladder. So, it's fine. Raft. Genuinely less useful than I thought it would be. Just like in Adventure of Link, the raft basically just takes you to 1 or 2 new areas, I think. You get to access the northeast corner of the map, and you also get to access level 4 or 5, depending on if you're in second quest or first quest. It's fine, I guess. It's like your normal area unlock item. It doesn't really do anything else. It's alright. It's like average. 3 out of 5. Average. 3 out of 5, it's a raft. Yeah, pretty much. There is actually a reason why Bowser, I'm assuming, kidnaps Peach in the O manual? I don't know what the O manual is. Oh, he wants to steal the princess's magic and turn all the toads into brick blocks. Oh, yeah! No, wait, he succeeds at that, doesn't he? I think he succeeds at that. I feel like that was the thing that Bowser specifically succeeds in. Okay, anyways, 3 out of 5 for the raft. It just unlocks an area and doesn't do anything else. Honestly, it deserves less than that. I gave like fairies 3 out of 5. Hey, frick that. This is 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Yeah, I was surprised that the raft cannot act as a stepladder, because you get the raft first in second quest, and I thought like, oh, okay, neat, like maybe I can just access that north corner of the map, and then nope. Yeah, only 2 raft spots, which means it's bad and I don't like it. Okay, cool. Now that we're done with that, we move on. The map of the labyrinth and the compass. Okay, map is just genuinely very cool. Having played AOL before this, I was so freaking glad that this game gives you a map. Adventure of Link has no maps, and it sucks. I played Adventure of Link with a map that I had my friend like edit for me. Like I just gave my friend a PNG of like a map, and then I told her to just black out all the squares so I don't know what's in them. And like this got really difficult actually. So I think by the end she was just kind of blurring the whole thing and sending it back to me and it was fine. But yeah, it was, it was terrible. Adventure of Link needs a map. This game also needs a map and has one, so I've got to give it massive props for doing that. Compass, not as useful. I feel like I used it once or twice. Get the just average 3 out of 5. The compass just tells you where the Triforce piece is, or in the case of the final dungeon, it tells you where Zelda is. I guess that's okay. Doesn't really help much though, because I'm gonna explore every dungeon anyways, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I do like the fact that there is an implication here that there's a compass somewhere that can detect the Triforce. I'm just saying. Kind of interesting. Trying to blank out everything in Grand Palace. Yeah, exactly. Like, I gave her the Grand Palace map and she was like, okay, fine, whatever. She just blurred the whole thing and sent it back, and it worked, actually. I couldn't see shit, so it worked. Yeah, friends, I did put my entire playthrough of Adventure of Link online. You guys, even if you know the game, watch my playthrough of Grand Palace, because I went in the exact wrong direction. Triforce is magnetic, maybe. Okay, so fun fact, there is a magnet in both Four Swords Adventures and Oracle of Seasons that can canonically move Link. So Link is magnetic? Like, I don't know, is he? Oh wait, I think it doesn't, the magnets don't move Link in Oracle of Ages, or Oracle of Seasons, but they do move Link in Four Swords, I believe. Yeah, 4 is magnetic. This is correct. The hero of the Four Sword is magnetic, it's canon. Okay, letter to the old lady. That's really cool. I love the fact that getting potions is gated behind an item. No, like, I genuinely love it. I'm not even being sarcastic, I think it was cool. Like, I came here, I got the letter, I went back to the old lady. Yes, I am going to draw Dawn getting this letter and going and giving it to the old lady. This is gonna happen. I haven't had time yet, but I've had that planned ever since I played this bit because I was like, that's so cute. Of course, you don't want to have people to have potions from the beginning because it would be a little bit overpowered. You want them to go figure out where something is, figure out that they've like been able to play the game, and then bam, access to health recovery. Good for you. Love this. Blue and red rings. I'm always a fan of damage reduction. Honestly, if we could have had this back in AOL, I would have appreciated that, but they don't, because you gotta suffer in Adventure of Link. You can't have nice things. You can't have nice things in Adventure of Link. You can have some nice things in Zelda 1. Yes, the Croissant of Power. I mean, this is a mainstay of the series. It just gets used everywhere. I think there are power bracelets in a whole bunch of Zelda games. Wind Waker definitely has them. You can lift those giant rocks. I think there's 2 levels of power bracelet in ALTTP. There's like the first level, and then later you get like the Titan's mitts or something like that. Power gloves, yeah, something like that, etc., etc. It's fine, I guess. I'll give it a 4. Yes, game progression, genuinely well made. I talked about this during the gameplay section, and I stand by what I said. They really thought about, like, both the mid and end game phases. Usually you don't really see old games consider that long, because you expect old games to be, like, get people roped into it, and then you just get stuck there. But this game is, like, well thought out all the way through. So the beginning is, like, well planned, but so is the middle and the end, and I gotta give them credit for that, so pretty insane. Yes, you do have the shield spell in AOL. I don't count that because it only works for 1 room. So how most spells work in Adventure of Link is that you used up some magic and you only get a benefit for the room you're currently in. In a dungeon like the Great Palace, where the rooms are like, I think they were labeling the rooms on like the little mini map that I had. They were going like room A, B, C, D, etc., etc. And like by nearing like halfway, they're on like room like O and P and Q, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what the frick? How many rooms are in here? So it's not that great, I will say. Magical clock. Yeah, this is the one thing that I don't think I've ever seen come back in the series. There are some methods of time stop, of course. The Phantom Hourglass is the one that I know best, of course, but there are other ones. I guess recall kind of counts. Stasis definitely, maybe, sort of, kind of counts. But other than that, I don't think it's ever been an item on the map that you can collect. So genuinely cool to see an item like this that just never made its way back into the series at all. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because I thought it was neat, but hey. It's the Goron bracelet from Echoes of Wisdom. Yes, I saw that theory. It was really cool. Oh, it's in Hyrule Warriors? Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? Okay. I have not played Friends, Romans, Countrymen. I have played every Zelda game. Every mainline Zelda game, let me be precise. Because I have not played Hyrule Warriors. I'm kind of missing that one. God damn it. Of course it would be. I heard that there's like an entire section of Hyrule Warriors that takes place on the Zelda 1 map. But like you don't play Zelda 1, like you play Hyrule Warriors. It's just on the Zelda 1 map. Is that true? It looks really cool though. And like a lot of these items come back as items in Hyrule Warriors as well. But I don't think they work the same way, right? Like I think the clock in Hyrule Warriors is just like one of the items that somebody can do. Like it's a cosmetic revival, I think. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I read this. I think the clock is like, I don't know, one of Ruto's weapons or something. I'd forgotten. Okay. Anyways. Here we go. The boomerang! Okay, one of my favorite items, like the entire series. I just freaking love the boomerang, it's so cool. I got used to playing it in Phantom Hourglass, which was my first game, as I said. So, wildly different gameplay usage. You get to control the boomerang a lot more in Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. Even in Wind Waker, where you can kind of like camera across the screen and target whatever you want. But I did play a lot of ALTTP and Oracle games. I think they all have boomerangs, and it's great. I gotta give it massive props for just showing up, doing what it must, and then becoming a mainstay of the series. In the 2D pixel games, the boomerang stuns opponents, which is extremely useful. So top tier, 6 out of 5. So cool. I'm actually gonna rate the normal one a 5 out of 5. I think it was alright. The top tier one is the magic boomerang. Look at how far it goes. It covers the whole screen. It picks up money for me. That's what I want to see. Love it. The Zelda 1 map is in Hyrule Warriors. I'm genuinely surprised by this, but like I heard it before and I was genuinely surprised by this, but like, hey. If they're gonna make references to as many games as possible, I guess this is the only way they could make a reference to Zelda 1. Bombs. I mean, once again, mainstay of the franchise, but is it anything special? Not really. I'm going average. It's a bomb. It's not used in any more inventive ways than I remember it being used in other games, and I feel like Nowadays with like, you know, wind bombing in Breath of the Wild and like all sorts of crazy things like putting bombs on arrows in Twilight Princess, bombs have been used more creatively since then. So not much we can do there to make this any different. But hey, I mean, it's a bomb. It gets used well. The bow. Okay, so the fact that you have to buy arrows in progress, like while playing the game, was interesting. That said, I think the bow kind of suffers from the same problem to me that the magic rod suffers from, which is that usually, like, I can use it as a distance weapon option. However, anything that I'm gonna be using the bow on, I feel like usually anything that I need to kill that's difficult, that I really want to kill at range, just ended up being immune to bows anyways. So yeah, silver arrows is only useful for one enemy, but I actually will give it an extra point. I should give it like 3 out of 5, but I'm gonna give it 3.5. Purely because this becomes like a main plot point in ALTTP, and I thought it was cool. Bombs in Zelda 1 don't hurt you? What? I never noticed! What? No way! 3.5. Like, it deserves this. I didn't know that. That takes an entire ring to achieve in the Oracle games. That's so cheating. Come on. I had to get a ring for that shit back in Oracle. Oh, man. Yeah, normal arrows, I feel like they could have been more useful. If these could, like, I don't know, kill Wizrobes, wouldn't that be so cool? What if Wizrobes were weak to arrows, guys? Ugh. Okay, I guess the game wouldn't have been as difficult then, but still, I'll give it like a 3. Nah, you know what, the 4 for being bow and arrow, like it's a bow and arrow, it's fine. Hyrule is bomb-proof. Hyrule has just been exploded enough. He's okay with this here. I'll draw a little... This is his bomb. It's about to go off, but he doesn't care. Stop right there. I love that. It's so cute. All right. Candles. Yeah, okay, so aesthetically, I love the candles. I will admit that I used to draw, back before Echoes of Wisdom came out, I used to draw Aurora with the candle as a signature item, because I think it's just a really cool item to have. Items-wise, it doesn't do shit. These are, like, even more useless than they are in Adventure of Link. Yeah, 1 out of 5 hate these bitches, exactly. There's kind of no point to them. Okay, the one saving grace is that in Master Quest, which is to say the second round through of this game, there is a point where you can use a candle in a really cool, inventive way to unlock Dungeon 7, I believe. So if you go to like the end of the Dungeon 6 stream of my Master Quest run, you'll see me doing that specific puzzle, which I did not figure out. Like, I needed chat's hint to get me into that specific puzzle. But it was so good. It was really cool. I loved it. That is enough to elevate it from 1 out of 5 to 2 out of 5. Here and here. Yeah, actually, so the rule for Zelda's having items is that if an item exists in 2 separate games, then the Link has 2 of that item, and can therefore give that item to the Zelda. So Dawn has a candle. She's also scared of the dark, so it works out pretty well. Dawn gets to keep the candle that originally Aurora had. Echo doesn't need it anymore. Whistle, really mysterious magical item. Use it and it'll amaze you with what you can do. I mean, thanks, I guess. Yeah, the fact that this actually leads to secrets I did not know, but I thought was really cool. No, definitely not. I don't think 1.5. I think... What? No, incorrect. Incorrect. Because with the candle, you have to, like, manually scour every square that's burnable on the map. With the whistle, you play it once on a tile, and it reveals any secret on that tile. That's so cool. And then the fact that you could do that, in general, I never thought about. And then when I learned it, I was like, oh, that's so neat. Like, of course the flute does this. 2.5 out of 5. No. I love the flute. I thought it was so cool. 4.5. Amazing shit. Flute plus plus. My only problem with it is you can't use it for combat. I think it would have been really cool if you could do something to enemies with this. Like, I don't know, maybe if the game had more programming space, then maybe like if you whistle... I don't know, like right in front of an enemy or something, then they like turn into something else. Like the spell from Adventure of Link. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Okay, enemy bait. You don't do anything with this, right? I never actually tried this. This comes back in Echoes of Wisdom. So like 40 years later, they brought this back to the series. Yeah, I never tried this. Does this work? I used it as a quest item. This is a quest item in the game, and that's basically the only way I use the enemy bait. Okay, I guess 3 out of 5 because I never figured out if you can actually bait the enemies with it or not. There are mods that make a Pole's voice die to the whistle. Yes, okay, that would be cool. I do like that. That's super neat. I thought the Pole's voice would be weak to noises too, you know, because it's like a voice. That's like the whole point, right? Like, it's a Pole's voice. Same thing in Phantom Hourglass, I think. They're in that game, and I think they're weak to bombs. Are they weak to bomb explosion noises? What are they weak to? You play something, don't you? Or was it Spirit Tracks? I don't actually remember. They're in one of the DS games. I forgot which one. Okay. Water of Life. This is the first ever health potions. They're pretty good. I like how blue is like 1 health and red is like 2 health potions. Like, how does, if you pour 2 blue liquids together in this game, you get a red liquid? Like, it doesn't make sense. I guess it's just a color changing potion. It's like pH. Yeah, stay hydrated, kids. I agree. Yeah, potions are cool. I think it's genuinely cool how they have like 2 doses too. I think it's awesome. 5 out of 5. Yeah, Potion Lady is great and I love her. Okay, oh yeah, I love this specific dialogue at the bottom of the screen if you read this. Because it's just, it is a correct dialogue, it's not bad grammar, but if you read it like both lines together instead of reading across the page, it just says, "The whistle is the most mysterious of all the treasures in this game. Blow the whistle and it'll happens." Which I was reading the first time, like, wait, what? But then, no, it's supposed to be read like this. Blow the whistle and it'll let out a strange sound. People say it opens up paths for Link. Try blowing it and see what happens. So there you go. I got real confused by that. The gimmick with them didn't make it to the US version. Yes, okay, that makes sense. I heard about this, I think. I heard about the fact that the mic can affect the pulled voices, but yeah, apparently they just didn't do that. Is there a reason why the Japanese controller had a mic and the US version didn't? Like, I see obviously why they removed it from the US version, or I see why they removed the software part, but why is the hardware removed? It's kind of strange. And then the last item, the magic wand. I love the fact that magic exists in this game. I hate the fact that it does less than I wanted it to. Like, Darknuts don't take damage from magic wands, Patras don't take damage from magic wands, Wizrobes don't take damage from magic wands. Then, like, what's the point of the magic wand? Like, what is it here for? The magic wand is, however, useful on Moldorms. It's also useful on, I think it's... Is Lanmola in this game? You know, the thing that looks like a Lanmola. I guess we'll find out in the next section, but for now, I think it's cool. The fact that it exists is cool. I wish it was more effective, because otherwise you're just not using it. 4 out of 5. Bows, but more helpful. Yeah, agreed. It also does do the exact same thing that the candle does. Like, it genuinely just replaces candle once you get the book, so hey, I'll take it. It is a lawnmower. Okay, neat. Perfect. Alright, blow the whistle and it'll happen. Sounds like a silent hint. Actually, genuinely true. Dodongo dislikes smoke level. Alright, here we go. Items done. And now... do we rate the people? Yeah! Let's go! All characters... Wait, no, actually... Merchant hacking scammed me. 3 out of 5. My Yelp rating goes down. 3 out of 5 stars. 3 out of 5 stars. There. Zelda 3 out of 3. Zelda 8 out of 8, actually. Here. Wait, go back. Oh no. Oh no, it's frozen. Heck. Okay, hold on. Game froze. Why game froze? Oh? Huh? Okay. Don't mind me just scrolling back to the same point. Underworld, that's too far. Move back. Okay, there. Done. So yeah, as I was saying, Zelda 8 out of 8. Zelda 8 out of 8. There. Oh, friendly moblin. Oh yeah. Friendly moblin. Can't spell friendly moblin without Lin. Friendly moblin gets... It's a secret to everyone. Out of 100. Done. Yeah, I do love the fact that friendly moblin exists. It is genuinely funny to me that after the Great Decline are the only games in which just bad guys are good suddenly. Like, Ganon has taken power for so long that the enemies under his control have gained sentience. I think that's genuinely very cool, and I have worked it into my view of the Zelda world. Okay, moving on. Okay, note about items. Drops aren't random. Every enemy has a drop table that increments based on kills. Berries only have 3 slots on the entire set of tables, 2 on the same enemy group. Oh. Oh, interesting. Okay. I felt like there's gotta be something that wasn't random there, but that's so neat. So the more you kill of a specific type of enemy, the more... Okay. Okay. See, I kind of figured, because like sometimes I would reset a point, and then I would kill the same enemies again, and I would get the same item. And I was like, that's weird. That's really cool. Okay. Alright. Speaking of items, or rather, speaking of enemies, that's what I meant to say. Speaking of enemies, let's move on into the next category. Gotta move up. And replace this topic. Enemies. Yeah, that's gotta be super useful for speedrunning, isn't it? Oh man, I can just imagine it. That's so cool. You can route everything perfectly. You don't even have to worry about RNG manipulation. That's awesome. Damn. Friendlin, Moblin. I love that. Oh gosh. There's a friendly Iron Knuckle in Cadence of Hyrule Great Decline. Is he friendly though? I know what you mean. The guy in the Gerudo arena, yeah. I don't think he's friendly. He's there for the arena, he's just taking a break. I think he says something like, yeah, I'm like just waiting for the next match or whatever. I guess it is also in the Great Decline, that's true. Could be. Could be. Also, we do have precedents for Iron Knuckles having Gerudo in them. So it's possible it is just a Gerudo. In Ocarina of Time, Nabooru gets imprisoned in an Iron Knuckle, right? So, it's possible. I don't think Iron Knuckles are, like, all evil. Essentially. I think people in armor can be good. He talks about his bro who rides a Dodongo. Is that something that he does? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's been a while. There is a Dodongo in that one, I think, because it's the Dobongo boss fight. Okay, anyways, ads over, so now we get to move on. Wonderful. Let's go! To the enemies. Alright. Ah. Alright, there we go. Yeah, the enemies of this game are brilliant. And why, you may ask? Well programmed, one thing. Well designed, another thing. And the third main thing is that, like, since I've played every other Zelda game, I've seen all of these shits before. Like, I went into this game and I'm like, ah, you little frickers. I know exactly what you do. This is so good. Okay, so I'm gonna rate them based on my opinion in this game. However, let it be known that I will have, let's say, conflicting opinions from other times. Many, many conflicting opinions. So, one thing about the enemies in this game, you find that their movement is some of the... Oh, really? Huh. Waiting around to try to get rid of one enemy feels very stagnant. Okay, so that's specifically only a problem with P-hats, though. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But that is a problem with P-hats and only P-hats. I don't think anything else... I don't think anything else you really need to, like, wait for. I feel like. Thinking about it. Anyways, Tektite. Spidery things jump about all over the place. Red ones move about. Okay, yeah, they have little fighting power. I've never been a fan of Tektites, but I feel like in this game they were very manageable. So, I'm gonna rate these on how fun they are to fight. Which means... Tektites, not that fun, super easy, you can get rid of them pretty quickly. Average enemy right there. Yeah, P-hat 1 out of 5 enemy, I agree. When we get there. The blue Tektites were the same freaking, or they're even, I don't even know if there's a difference, honestly. Hot take, the Calamity games should be a separate timeline, ooh. How the F can you have Zora and Rito even though they're supposed to be related? Well, you don't though. Oh, the Calamity games. Oh, gotcha, you mean like Wild. Yeah, I had canon that there's a converged timeline. I'll do my version of the timeline at some point. I'm gonna finish my little, like icons, like my little chibi Zeldas. Once I'm done with my chibi Zeldas and Links, I'll make a timeline. And then I will just point to the timeline and be like, this is the thing. It's okay, it works. Converged timeline, it works, it's all good. Okay. Octorok, super simple enemy, not too basic, or not too fancy, just really basic. They teach you how to play the game. It's pretty valid, actually. In fact, I'm gonna give it 1 extra point for being the sort of enemy that teaches you how to play the game. Like, as I said just now, I gotta reward it for that. 3 out of 5 because you start off learning like, oh, okay, when I hold my shield out in front of me, I can take attacks. When I like swing my sword, I'm gonna get hit by something. So if an Octorok is shooting at me, I gotta wait until the bullet hits my shield, and then I gotta swing. It teaches you the rhythm game that you're gonna need later when you fight Wizrobes. So pretty good, I like it. Crazy theory that the first Hyrule Warriors merged all the timelines into a mess. Yes, this is a theory that's been around for a long time. This is the theory that I follow as well. I did not come up with the Hyrule Warriors Convergence timeline theory. I do, however, refer to the Hyrule Warriors War as the Convergence War because I believe that it merged the timeline. So this is exactly how I solved the timeline. Hyrule Warriors merge. Exactly. It's allowed. Warriors games can do this shit. Yeah, like I can imagine like, I don't know, Flora being like, Flora, by the way, keyword or I guess like nickname for Breath of the Wild Zelda. I can imagine Flora being like, yeah, like if I rewrite the timeline, people go like non-canon and unreal. But if Lullaby does it, it's like, oh yeah, like double timelines. It's so fine. Gosh, fun things. Okay, Lever. I'm okay with them. Jumping in the ground and just like yeeting yourself at you is all right, I guess. I feel like they were easy to kill for money, so I'm gonna rate them 3.5. 3.5 because of easiness to kill for money. This is fine. P-hats, I said this before and I'll say it again. I hate P-hats, they're the worst. 0 out of 5. And like, the thing is, they maintained their 0 out of 5 too. Like, I've never liked P-hats in any Zelda game. I don't think I've... Actually, no, I take it back. Wind Waker P-hats are fair. They're all right. Other than that, like, they're always 0s out of 5. Absolutely terrible. It's a Moblin. I think this originally, or maybe originally was translated as Moblin, maybe? Or maybe it's a typo, I wouldn't know. But in the rest of the series, they're called Moblins. These guys are fine. In this game, they're actually pretty easy. So 2 out of 5, easy. Not too much of a problem. Okay, Armos. Armos are interesting because they hide secrets, but as an enemy, they're not difficult to beat. The fact that some of them just move super fast is really funny to me. So like 3 out of 5 for the humor, but other than that, not great. That's true. P-hats are cool in Echoes of Wisdom. You got me there. To be fair though, pretty much every enemy I hated in any other Zelda game, I really loved in Echoes of Wisdom. Like I have an entire, there's the freaking short vid out there somewhere of me hating the floor tiles from A Link to the Past. And then I played Echoes of Wisdom and I'm like, holy shit, the floor tiles are on my side now. Oh my god. It's amazing. Okay. Genie, the ghost who lives in the graveyard. They're all dead. They're just dead people. And then Link suddenly loses the ability to see ghosts in the next game. They're there from the beginning of the game. They appear when you touch the gravestones. Okay. These are kind of boring. I feel like they didn't do anything. They look cute, but they're boring. Alright. Lionel, the guardian who attacks all those who come near Death Mountain. Lionels were fun in this game. I will admit, I find the Lionels in Breath of the Wild pretty easy. But like... They're difficult in this one. Like, I was like, oh shit. But then when you get to a certain point, they're easy again, which I think is a good sign of game design. Like, you should get to a certain point where you can defeat the enemy. That makes it a good enemy. So I'll give it actually 4 out of 5. Really fun to fight. I think they were overwhelmingly easy in A Link to the Past or something. I forgot. I think I met Lionels in ALTTP and I'm like, oh, that's a Lionel? Oh shit, okay. They're very difficult in Cadence of Hyrule from what I remember. I was like, ah, that's a problem. Is a Morbing Morblin a Morblin? Oh gosh, I can't say that. Morbius? In my Zelda game? It's less likely than you think. Ah yes, Zola. The translations. I mean, I know why. In Japanese, the L and R are essentially the same letter. Here, let me release it. Here, we're gonna make these a little bit more modern for them. How about that? Half fish, half woman, lives wife in the water. Okay. Oh, we're canonizing the Zora enemies as women in this game. Neat. She also spits fireballs. Yep. Okay. Link's little shield can't hold back. True. You can beat it with the magic shield though. Appreciate that. Okay. As an enemy, they're all right, I guess. I don't really have anything too much to say about them. 3 out of 5 exists. Rock. These rocks crumble off Death Mountain and fall down to attack Link. He can't destroy them. Rock over rock. And there we go. There's all the overworld enemies. But we have yet another set of them waiting for us, because most of the game takes place in the dungeons. And in the dungeons are where the true enemies lie. So here we go. Zols. Or gels, I guess. I'm actually used to Zol now. I feel like they're not referred to as Zol in any other games except for Echoes of Wisdom and this one, right? Because are they called... What are they called in Adventure of Link? Are they called Zols in that game? They're called bots, right? I think in AOL they're called bots. In this one they're called Zol. And I don't actually remember hearing them called Zol in any other game, yeah. In most games you might know these as Chews. Outside the Zelda series they're called Slimes. But this is like a mainstay of the entire RPG series, honestly. So, I gotta give it a massive score for that. And they're easy to kill. They're like little health storages, honestly. Like sometimes you find a room full of them and you're like, yes, I can kill them all. And I can commit murder. And I can take their beating hearts and eat them for my own health. So, I mean, 5 out of 5. Let's go. Watsonian answered different species. Yeah, it's possible. Or it's just like everybody decided to call them a different name. I'm okay with that. AOL is bots. Yeah, okay, good. Breath of the Wild Lionels have a similar scale to the ones here. Really? If you go to Zora's domain first, they prove to be quite the challenge, given that you recommended to... Oh. Well, you don't gotta fight that guy. Wait, did people fight him? So in Breath of the Wild, at the beginning, when you go to, like, Varuta, and then you get told by Sidon, like, go pick up some lightning arrows, you're just supposed to sneak by him. Did people, like, stop and kill... You did? Don't fight the Lionel at the beginning of the game. It's not... Why? Why would you do this? Super Slick is like, I must do it. I must kill the random creature. God damn. Okay. Gaming. Okay, fair. GG. Oh, man. I feel like this is something that I definitely wouldn't do, purely because I like stealth missions. I think they're very fun. I was like, ooh, stealth mission. Let's go. I was having fun running around picking up arrows, sneaking. All right, ropes. I genuinely enjoy fighting ropes because, like, if you know, they're predictable is what. Like, you know exactly where they're gonna go. If they're at the top of the screen and you're in the bottom, they're gonna rush you. If you're at the bottom of the screen and they're at the top, they're gonna rush you. They just rush you no matter what, as long as you're in one of the perpendicular directions to them. So, easy to fight, easy to kill. 3 out of 3. They're kind of difficult when they mob you from all directions, but usually they don't, so it's okay. You saw a challenge and had to overcome it. You know what? That's valid. Like, I played this game, and at various times during the game, I was like, oh, frick, like, I really don't need to do this room now. I could go, I could leave and get, like, the better sword and come back, but I was like, I'll try it one more time. It's okay. I did this, I can't lie. Vyres. So I actually forgot that Vyres show up again in the series, but we were talking about this. Apparently Vyres are in the Oracle games and I just didn't recognize them. They're also in Cadence of Hyrule, yes. I forgot that they are, but they are. I played Cadence again recently and I was like, oh yeah, this thing. That's what that is. Other than that, I don't think they're anywhere else, are they? This is another downfall-only monster, I feel like. Keys, though. Keys are in like every Zelda game. So massive shout out to the Keys for just... When you think of Zelda, you think of like, I don't know, I guess... What else do you think of, really? Moblins, maybe? Bokoblins, Moblins? And then also Keys, like I feel like they're in everything. So, top tier to the Keys. Just being such an important part of the franchise is cool. The Vyres, I'm kind of sad didn't come back. I think it's cool to have a monster that's made up of multiple Keys. It's just like 3 Keys in a trench coat. Like, that's kind of neat. That's definitely a concept for a monster. Doesn't come back, so only a 4, but it's okay. 5 out of 5 Keys. They are intimidating on a ladder. True. Because you're like, you can't move. Getting a hit on you and never dropping health. Also true, but it does actually drop your health. So when you get hit by a Keys, you take, I think, 1/4 of a heart of damage or something. And it does actually track that. So eventually, if you get hit by enough Keys, you will take damage. So hey, fair enough, I'll take it. Stalfos. Oh, that's a Stalfos? Oh yeah, okay, alright, yeah, I see it. I just kind of thought he was like an unmasked Gibdo. Because in ALTTP, if you... Wait. In ALTTP, are they called Stalfos too? You know when you have like a Gibdo in ALTTP and you like fire it? Does it just die or does it get unmasked? I don't actually remember anymore. Okay. Oh, they don't drop health when they die. Yes, that's true. Okay, so Keys in this game and the smaller Zols, like the half bots, those don't drop. Anything you can kill with a boomerang does not drop health, I believe, right? I think we learned that, yes. Oh, it dies in ALTTP. Okay, never mind. Huh. I feel like there's a game where you like light the Gibdo on fire and it turns into a skeleton. Right? Or am I just thinking of Tears? No, I feel like it was a 2D game. What? What game was that? Okay, whatever. Maybe there is no game. Either way, TLoZ, cool. Look at him go. It's kind of cool looking. Don't you hate it when the hero of time becomes one of these things? He's just skeletoning around. Oh wait, this is the eraser. Hold on. Okay, skeleton. Skelly out of ton. This is topical to Hades too. Hey, look, guys! It's Captain Skelemaeus. We found him. He's just chilling. It's all good. All right. Here we go. Wallmasters. So I actually I have a storied history with Wallmasters, which is to say I've hated them ever since I started the Zelda series. Wallmasters are in Phantom Hourglass. They're great. They're great. No problems whatsoever. I would never speak ill of a Wallmaster. Please don't kidnap me from my homes. 5 out of 5. Korea, a little devil that lives underground and has boomerangs. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, I forgot about these guys because I think they're like not in second quest. Were there like any Goriyas in second quest? I think by endgame you're not fighting these guys anymore. But they do exist. They're in the first ever dungeon. They're in dungeon 1 is where I remember them because you pick up you kill one of them and you take his boomerang. Like that's how you get the first boomerang, right? Like you just murder him. That's pretty neat. I love that. So, you know what? 3. Goriyas do show up again in Adventure of Link, and then I think they get phased out of the games entirely. Oh no, they're in Cadence as well. Okay. Cadence of Hyrule, Adventure of Link, and I do not think they show up again. Which is really weird, actually. This is the thing, like, I think I fought them... No, yeah, I don't remember them being anywhere else. I think after this, the boomerang shtick got taken over by bokoblins. And then, ever since then, it's just been bokoblins with boomerangs. And Goriyas have been phased out of existence. But they were kind of cool in this game. They're very difficult in AOL. They're much easier in this one because the boomerangs just go straight here. In AOL, they take a curving path and they also go either above or below, and you gotta like turn around to block them with the shield and then turn back to the Goriya to stab it. So terrible, I hated it there, but in this one they were fine. Which, opposite of Wizrobes. Yeah, Wizrobes are so easy in Adventure of Link because you have a shield that can reflect all their projectiles and do damage to them. So you just put up the reflect spell and you wait and the Wizrobes die. In this game, Wizrobes are like some of the hardest enemies on the field. -5 out of 10, I hated it. 5 out of 5. -5 out of 5, I hated it. However, really interesting gameplay, genuinely enjoyed the fact that they existed, so plus because of it. So yet another ±5 out of 5. Just absolutely controversial. I hate how difficult they are, but I love how interesting they are to fight. You can fight them if you want like a rhythm game. You gotta wait for them to like send their little beams, and then as they send it, you block with the shield and stab like in a rhythm, and then you'll beat them. Or you can just snipe them from a distance like I did. Woo! Unfortunately, they are immune to the magic. They're immune to bows and arrows. They're immune to the boomerang. I think they're also immune to bombs, maybe? They're just freaking immune to everything and I hate it. So yeah, terrible. Oh, also sorry, the emblem gacha is down right now. Everybody who redeemed anything in the emblem gacha, just let me know. I'm gonna put it back up right now and hopefully it'll work. And then I'll give you guys back your pulls, maybe. Remind me at the end of the stream. I'll give you a free pull. I can do that. Wizrobes have 2 flavors in AOL, reflect and wait for them to kill themselves, and throw fire on the ground to make your life hell. Oh yeah. Well, I don't remember being too discomforted by the fire either, surprisingly enough. I remember the fact that they just threw fire on the ground at you, but I didn't necessarily find it too difficult. I think, maybe? Alright. Darknuts. The worst enemy in the game. Oh gosh. Okay, ±10 out of 5. I feel like Darknuts alone hard carried the difficulty of this game. It's so difficult to kill them. I don't know if other people had like an easier experience with them or something, but like, holy shit, they're unpredictable. That's the problem. I loved ropes, for example, which are the snake enemies from the last page. I love those because you know where they're gonna go, right? Like, you know, they're gonna head at you when they see you, they rush you, you stab them, it's fine. Wizrobes are also kind of predictable, at least a little bit. The teleporting ones are worse, but the orange ones are kind of fine. Like, you know exactly what they're gonna do when they exist. The teleporting ones, at least you know they're gonna go off in like a direction diagonally from them, like about the same distance every time. It's not too bad. This one is the worst. These guys turn at random. It sucks so much. I hate it. Oh gosh. However, yeah, I think the game wouldn't have been as difficult if they weren't there, so I gotta give it points. Pole's voice, here we are. I am sad that they don't actually hate loud noise in the American version of the game. However, I love the fact that they're weak to arrows. I thought that was kind of neat. You just shoot them all with an arrow and they die, and it's like, oh, you feel like you found out a weakness, you know, and you're like, I can take advantage of this. Like, yes. It was neat. So I'll give it actually like a 4 for that, honestly. Maybe a 3.5. 3.5. Darknut steeled up in the Great Decline. I mean, kinda, yeah. Since you can only attack a Darknut from the back, you end up having to predict a random series of movements, which is just difficult and I hate it. Lanmola, hey! These guys are actually pretty easy to kill as long as you have the Magic Rod. Or if you have, like, Sword Beams. I think anything is fine. Yeah, Magic Rod is essentially a Lanmola killing item. The Magic Rod is the best because it puts down fire, and then the Lanmola just keeps running into the same fire, which kills it. It's kind of funny. You can see me do that pretty often in the last stream, I think. In the endgame stream, I basically just went back and forth and killed Lanmolas with this, so I was like, woo! Murder! Exterminating the Lanmolas in the household. Let's go! I'm gonna go ahead and rank it pretty highly, because it was fun. It was fun to fight. Fun to find a weakness and fun to fight. Okay. Likes. Absolute worst enemy. Who thought it was possible? Who thought it needed to happen? It's for you to go back outside the dungeon and buy a shield again after getting it eaten by the likes. Also, likes are a mainstay of the Zelda franchise. I think they're basically in every 2D game. The only reason they're not in the 3D games is it would be kind of graphic to have Link in 3D get eaten whole by one of these guys and get their shield sucked away from him. I think that's the only reason this hasn't made its way to Breath of the Wild, because otherwise they're in like all the freaking games and I still hate them. They're terrible. Yet again, controversial type score. Plus or minus, but not as bad as the Wizrobes. 2 out of 5. No likes and Echoes of Wisdom. Yes. Oh, Ocarina has likes? I don't remember that. I think they didn't make their way out of Ocarina because I think at that point the resolution had gotten high enough. Yeah, they are in Tears of Kingdom. They are in Tears of Kingdom. I feel like in Tears it's okay because they don't move around. They're not the same. Likes and Tears do not count. I know they're still called likes, but they're like a different enemy because they just stay in one place and they throw things at you. You don't usually get hit. Yeah. Ocarina I forgot about. Are they in Ocarina? I think it's okay because the polygons were small back then. Like, you weren't getting eaten by, like, much. It was just triangles. Wait, Twilight Princess has likes? Am I just wrong about this? Okay, I'm wrong. I take back what I said. I don't remember them in any of those games. I think I know why. I think I erased likes from my memory. I no longer remember them because it was a traumatic experience. God freaking damn it. No, that, I think they're not in Wind Waker. They're not in Wind Waker, they are in Phantom Hourglass, they are in Spirit Tracks as well, I think, maybe? They could not be in Spirit Tracks, actually, but I feel like they're definitely in Phantom Hourglass, I remember. I know that Ocarina has likes because likes can eat Dark Link, but when they eat Dark Link, they eat time. Wait, what? Do they? Dislike! Wait, shit, this, hold on. This is a Facebook thumbs down. It's just really grainy, okay? Look, just imagine the rest of the thumbs down. Alright. This is why we have chat here. To tell me that likes are real and they can hurt me. Yeah, it's a P for downvote. Oh wait, I need a Reddit downvote. That's what I need. There. Dislikes. Here. Done. Gibdos! Okay, I'm a fan of Gibdos. Like, what can I say? They're just fun to fight. I barely remember them in this game because they're pretty easy. They have a lot of health in this game, but they don't do anything that's, like, unpredictable. Like, they're pretty normal folks. I like that. I think that's neat. Super fun to fight. Pretty average. 3 out of 5. Let's go. Maybe 3.5. Plus or minus 2 out of 5. Yeah, it's because... Like, P plus or minus, downvote, 2 out of 5. This is... The whole thing is my rating for likes. Like, this entire thing. You have to quote this entire bit. Moldorms. These are just like Lanmolas, but worse. And by worse, I mean more boring. 2 out of 5. Nothing too fancy about them. Not difficult. Dodongos. dislikes smoke. Don't forget, kids. Dodongo dislikes smoke. He dislikes smoke to the end. All right. If you haven't seen An Ode to Minions by Matthew Taranto, the guy who wrote Brawl in the Family, I recommend. It's a little YouTube video song. It's cute. He wrote that whole song. It's so good. Anyways, Dodongo dislikes smoke, and we like Dodongos. They're pretty fun. I love the fact that they have a weakness that you can exploit. I'm always a fan of Zelda enemies that have like one way to overcome them, and you gotta figure it out, but then once you do, you're like, you feel so smart, and you can go take them out full scale. Dodongos are even more special in this game because they've got two ways to take them out. You can, one, force them to eat bombs like you do in every other Zelda game where they show up, or two, hit them on the side with a bomb, and then just kill them with your sword, which I didn't know was possible until I started doing it later, and then I'm like, oh shit, I need to conserve my bombs. It was great. I enjoyed it. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. Genuinely good enemy, comes back quite a bit. They're in like a bunch of other Zelda games too, usually as bosses. I guess it was kind of a boss in this game, but by like second quest, they started becoming normal enemies, and then like by mid-second quest, I'm just finding Dodongos in random rooms, and I'm like, oh frick, okay, never mind. It's like a 90s anti-drug campaign, true. Dodongo dislikes smoke, and so should you. Remember, kids, don't like smoke. Don't like smoke. Done. Oh, man. Okay, Manhandla. Yeah, these were actually pretty fun to fight in this game. NGL. I didn't think I would like Manhandla, but I enjoyed it. There's a really cool vid of me being unable to use my sword, and then first try, like I had no sword axes. I walked into the Manhandla room. I was like, oh shit, I don't have my swords, but I have my bow and arrow. I'm gonna give it a shot. And I first tried him. It was awesome. It was so cool. I think I had like 1 heart left or something. It was amazing. So yeah, just for that one incident where I enjoyed that fight a lot, 10 out of 10. Or 10 out of 5, you know, they're a lot of 5. Manhandla PTSD from Echoes of Wisdom. Manhandlas do show up a decent amount of the series. I feel like they were actually not too bad in Echoes of Wisdom. I kind of wanted it to be harder in Echoes. You find them like a few times, right? Like 2 or 3 in Echoes. I was like, yeah, okay, not too bad, you know. I think the Manhandla fight is one of the ones where you can pull out the head and like get your Echoes to like cut the little thing. There's like a little pink dot and stuff. Don't you fight him like a few times? Yeah, like I think twice. That sounds right. Yeah. Once with 2 heads, once with 4 maybe. Both were held to you? Oh no. I actually genuinely thought both were like kind of easy. I was like, oh, I wish it was a bit harder. Speaking of things I wish were a bit harder, Aquamentus. Really easy. Susceptibly easy. I was like, huh? 2 out of 5. You're a giant dragon. Why is this so difficult? Or why is this not difficult at all? I feel like Aquamentus is there as a first boss, right? He's like maybe boss of Dungeon 1 or something. So he's not supposed to be hard. But like, don't remember where these guys are. I feel like Aquamentus was the boss of the first dungeon and then shows up as like a mini boss maybe once or twice more. They fire things at you kind of in a pattern like this, and it's very predictable, which I like. I like predictability because I can beat it, but it was also a little uninteresting because you don't need any items or anything. It's just a first boss. You show up, you walk this way, you stab him, you know, it works. So it's alright. Okay, Patra. This was fun. This was fun. Genuinely very difficult, also genuinely very interesting. I think it would have been cool if they were weak to bow and arrow. I think they're actually immune to it, or I'm just bad at aiming. It could be either. Could be either, I don't know which, but the fact that they haven't really showed up again is a bit strange, isn't it? I don't remember Patras from any other game. Huh. Do these never show up again? Are there Patras? I'm gonna look this up right now. Are there Patras in any other Zelda game? Because everything else we've seen in at least one other game. Patra, Zelda. It's just The Legend of Zelda. Maybe Cadence? Maybe in Cadence? I don't think they're in Cadence either. I don't remember these guys from Cadence. Yeah, I think these are genuinely just in The Legend of Zelda. Huh. Wow, rip. Patra for the next Zelda game. I think this might be the only one, right? Hold on, I'm going back. So far, the only one so far. We'll give it a bit. Yep, pretty much everything else here. Oh, Aquamentus. Aquamentus is also this game only. I think now that we've gotten to mini-bosses, some of these are going to start not showing up. But I don't want Aquamentus to show up in the next game, so I don't care about him. We'll put a star next to it for not showing up in the next game. Yeah, I don't think Aquamentus comes back. Yeah, him too, I guess. Him too, but I don't count this because Aquamentus is just a single-headed dragon, and there are other single-headed dragons in the series. Like you have Volvagia, you have Valu, you fight them again. So it's okay. Yeah, they're in BS Zelda. I don't count that because I don't know enough about it, and it's not mainline. I guess I'm only counting mainline and then also COH. Why am I counting COH, you might ask? Because I like Cadence of Hyrule, that's it. Yes, I did hear some theorizing about that. I'm glad that they put in Gleeoks. I think Gleeoks are much more of a mainstay in the Zelda series. Gleeoks do show up in other games, and they are also good. Aquamentus, not as good. Okay, back to this one. Digdogger. I think Digdogger is also unique to this one, right? I think Digdogger, Patra, and Aquamentus might be the ones that just don't show up again. Gotta make sure, though. I do know that there is a place in Zelda, in Breath of the Wild called Digdog, like, Canyon or something. Okay, recurring boss. No, it's in Oracle of Seasons. It is? What? Oh. Oh, yeah, wait, yeah, it is. And then it's also, wait, it doesn't say this, but it's in Link Between Worlds too, isn't it? Hold on, I remember fighting this guy in, like, in the 3DS game. Isn't there? Or am I just thinking of the, you know, freaking Moldorm or whatever they're called? Digdogger comes back in the Oracle games. Yeah, it looks like it does. Huh. I don't remember this. I feel like it's an ALB. I kind of remember it in like ALDW style. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. I think I'm getting Link Between Worlds mixed up with Oracle. That must be what's happening here. Huh. Okay, well. Digdogger does not get the special star that determines it here. No, wait. Come back. Okay, there. Yes. But Patra does. Patra is unique to this game. Digdogger shows up again in Oracles. Anyways, I did actually like the Digdoggers in this game. Really cool. The fact that you have to play the flute to split them, and then you go and like hit the little pieces. The little pieces are actually weak to boomerangs, which is really, really cool. I love bosses that have an element of strategy to them. So what you do is you play the flute, you split the Digdogger, and then it turns into like little tiny pieces and goes everywhere, and then you gotta like take the boomerang and like freeze them in place, usually while fireballs are coming at you from all the different sides of the screen, and then you go hit them with a sword. Really cool, fun fight, genuinely 5 out of 5. That's how I want Zelda bosses to be, top tier. Patra feels like it should be a boss if it came back. It has built-in minions and its shtick is staying away from you while its minions do the work. That is true. I feel like that specific like methodology though has been done by other bosses. For people who know Baronade, I think Baronade shows up for the first time in... I mean, I know it's in Ocarina of Time. Is that its first appearance? No, ALTTP has something very similar to a Baronade. You know what I mean, Mr. Scrubbubble. I feel like Mr. Scrubbubble does the same thing. Like, boss covered in other bosses is a thing that the Zelda series has continued to do. I like the Patra's formation, though. Like the little flying formation. I think that would be neat. Goma! Super huge crab. Good to know. I didn't know it was a crab, actually. I kind of thought, like, vaguely spider adjacent. But hey, I'll take it. Place the bomb, play the flute, and when the Digdogger splits, the bomb kills them all at once. Ooh, I love that. That's so cool. That's really neat. I love that. Yes, Goma is from Zelda 1. I did know about this. I think Gomas have been in maybe the most Zelda games. I listed them all out when I did my Echoes of Wisdom review, which, by the way, if you want to see more about Echoes of Wisdom, I'm really proud of my Echoes review, so go check that out on YouTube, folks. Not now, of course, because we're currently in the middle of a review here. But let me just look that up here, and I can list them out again, because Gomas are in, like, so many freaking games. Okay, so it looks like they're in Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Seasons, Wind Waker, Four Swords Adventures, Echoes of Wisdom. They're also in Hyrule Warriors, and they are also in Cadence of Hyrule. It doesn't put that in here, but they are in Cadence of Hyrule because there's like a little spin-off boss called the Gomaraka. Like, all the bosses in Cadence are little spin-off bosses, and they're so cute. And it's like a Goma, but it's got maracas on its little, and it like kind of shakes them. It's very cute. I love it. Like-likes are in Ocarina and in Majora. There's a similar enemy in TP called a Deku-like. Huh. I don't remember Deku-likes at all. Once you said that they're in Ocarina, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, fair. You know what, they could have been. But I don't remember Deku-likes still. I'm gonna look this up, actually. Deku-likes. TP. What do these look like? Oh. Oh, that's not a like-like. That's not a like-like. I mean, I guess it kind of is. These are like the little flower things from Majora is what I thought they were. Like, they remind me of the flower things in Majora. They're also stationary, which is, in my opinion, like, that doesn't count as a like-like. The whole point of the like-like that makes it really terrible and everybody hating it is that they move around and they eat you. This is why I also don't count the like-likes in Tears of the Kingdom, because they just stay in one place. Like, that's not difficult. Absolutely terrible. But yeah, you know what? Fair. They are in Ocarina. I was still wrong. Did not know they were in Ocarina. I forgot and wiped it from my memory. Okay, Gomas are cool in this game. You gotta shoot them with an arrow in the eye while its eye is open. That's gonna become a thing in the series. Like, hit the eye when the eye is open is such a mainstay in the Zelda franchise that people meme on it. So the fact that it all started here has to give you some points, right? 4.5 out of 5. Genuinely enjoyed this fight. Dodging it while waiting for the eye to open and then striking it while the iron is hot. So cool. Love Goma, happy to see it in TOTK, even though it's greatly changed from its usual design. Oh yeah, the marbled Goma, right, yeah. I guess that one you beat a lot differently than most Gomas, I feel like. Usually I feel like Gomas are all about eyeballs. Was there? Oh, I guess there was an eyeball in the TOTK one. I don't know. Yeah, Drug Goma gets a vote from me too then. It's fine. Yo, Hackster. Oh no, I missed the first or the second question. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. All the VODs are out right now. They're all on YouTube. The whole playlist has been uploaded. I didn't miss a single video. And they all have cool title cards that I drew the picture for as well. So go check that out, folks. Exclamation mark YouTube in chat right now will get you a link to that. But then come back here so you can join me for the live review. Heck yeah. Also, by the way, before I forget, to all the people here, I'm assuming you've played maybe at least one Zelda game. If you have and you haven't filled out my poll, keep in mind that tomorrow is going to be my Great Zelda Game ranking. I have been asked to do this for quite a while, and I've finally now finished all of my Zelda games, of all the mainline ones, I guess. I haven't played Hyrule Warriors still. However, I finished every mainline Zelda game, so I am going to be ranking the entire Zelda game franchise tomorrow at 5 p.m. PT. And if you'd like to contribute to the rankings, put your votes into the poll right here. I'm just gonna put the link in chat so that y'all people can keep this Zelda game poll. There we go. If you check out that link, you can put your rankings in. Come join us tomorrow as well, but I'm still gonna go through the rest of this because we've got Gleeox to raid. Okay, I actually really enjoyed fighting Gleeox in this game. I feel like I was decently good at it, but it was also difficult enough that made it like fun to fight. Genuine 5 out of 5. I liked it. I was having fun when I was fighting the Gleeox. Like the 4-headed one, I was like, holy shit, there's 4 heads. That's so many. I think the one thing that I did, so okay, I think Gleeox were probably going to be more bearable for me than for other people playing this game because I had save states. Like I could try the Gleeok, and then if it didn't work, I'd come back later. I think most people didn't have the opportunity to do that. Probably because if you failed a few times, you gotta restart from the beginning of the dungeon. Yeah, I was having a fun time with this one. Remember when you did one no damage? Yes, it was so cool. Oh man, yeah, I feel like with Gleeox, they were just predictable enough that I could get the hang of it. Like, I had a pattern going for my Gleeok fights. It was so fun. 3 heads only, and heads don't attack after it gets destroyed. Oh, for wild. Yeah. Yeah, Gleeoks do show up again. I know there's one boss in Phantom Hourglass that I really liked, actually, that does fire an ice Gleeok. Super fun. The Ice Temple Island, I think it was a good time. I think they show up in a few other games too, don't they? It can't just be Phantom Hourglass and The Legend of Zelda, right? There's no way. Hold on, Gleeok. They're in other games. Oh, it's in Oracle. Oh, yeah, of course it's in Oracle. Sure. Yeah, okay. This is fair. Wow, yeah, it is literally just The Legend of Zelda, Phantom Hourglass, Oracle of Seasons, and Tears of the Kingdom. What a weird-ass collection of games. Those games have nothing in common. What is this? Like, most of the things that are unique to Phantom Hourglass are either unique to, like, the Wind Waker series, or unique to, like, the kind of Minish Cap Four Swords bit. And then things from Minish Cap Four Swords usually come from A Link to the Past. So, and if anything is there in, like, Phantom Hourglass, you expect to see it in, like, Minish Cap and also in, like, ALTTP. It's weird to have a boss that's only in Phantom Hourglass and also The Legend of Zelda. Like, that's weird. Yes, Cadence of Hyrule has the Gleeokenspiel, and I freaking love it. So cool. It's a Gleeok, but its back is the Glockenspiel, and it has like a little like mallet on its tail, and it makes little patterns on itself as it shoots like electric lightning balls at you. It's so good. Oh my gosh, I love it. This game's Gleeoks were great too, so top tier. I enjoyed the whole like heads that Link cuts off from its body fly around in the air mechanic. This comes back in A Link to the Past when you fight Blind the Bandit. For people who have played ALTTP, you might have heard Blind the Bandit before. For people who have read my fic, The Secrets We Keep, you may have heard of Blind the Bandit before. Fun fact, this is one of the ways Blind the Bandit functions. When you cut off his head, they sort of start to fly around you like extra heads. And in the first time you fight him, I think you have to keep hitting his body, or like the space where his head used to be. The second time you fight him in the Palace of the Four Sword, I think you need to hit the extra heads. So I think it changes actually, but fun times. Made the joke before, 1 head Gleeok, 2 head Gleeok, 3 head Gleeok. I love that. Genuinely enjoy it. Isn't there an AOL boss that also does this? Yes, there's like that night boss. I forgot what he's called. They all have names in AOL. I forgot what his name is. Let's call him Bob. So there's a boss named Bob. And yeah, he loses his head and it starts flying around. That was annoying though. Oh man. Head of the Gleeok, fun. I love that they exist. I love that the Gleeok also shoots fireballs on a schedule. So you don't have to like worry about the fact that he's going to be shooting like random series of fireballs. It's always like on the beat, the fireballs. But the point is you don't know where they're coming from. Because you could be getting a fireball from one of the heads. You could be getting it from like the main head. It could be anywhere. Really fun. Just a genuinely enjoyable boss. I had fun with it. 5 out of 5 both ways. Bubbles! Ooh, the spirit of the dead. When it clings onto Link, he won't be able to unsheath his sword for a while. Alas, alas. This... You know what? I hated them, but like in a good way. I have to give this points. This is just good game design. Cause you show up in some of these rooms, they wouldn't be half as difficult if there weren't bubbles just running around the map at the same point. Especially in Second Quest, where like sometimes there's a room where like I don't know, like 2 or 3 Wizrobes. You're like, okay, that's not too bad. And then it's like 2 or 3 Wizrobes, except there's also red bubbles everywhere and 1 blue bubble chilling in the corner. That's when it gets really difficult. So I gotta say, top tier. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little purple friend here. Here. This is a purple friend. Because we need a blue bubble, you know? Do bubbles affect really differently because he's half fairy? Nope. I think bubbles are a thing in the Zelda franchise. They're in other games too. I feel like bubbles show up again definitely in Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, I want to say. And you can get rid of the... And it's also the same way you're not able to use your sword. In ALTTP, the equivalent of this is getting turned into a rabbit, where you once again cannot use your sword. So this specific mechanic did become a mainstay in the Zelda franchise, where like at some points, you get into a situation where you're forced to like sheath your weapon and not be able to use it. They're a thing in other games, but with Ruli it's so different. Is it? I think it's the same thing, isn't it? I'm looking this up to make sure, but I'm pretty sure there's like a little thing in Majora's Mask at least. Because I 100%ed Majora's Mask back in the day, and I remember there's something that... They're like skeletons with blue flame. They're like little ghostly skeletons, and they hit you and you can't use your sword, right? Majora's Mask bubble? Was it a bubble? Maybe it wasn't? Maybe it's not? Curse, maybe? Majora's Mask curse? Okay. Majora... yeah, okay. You're afflicted with a curse when you make contact with a blue bubble. Yeah, I think the difference is that the blue bubbles curse you in most other games. I think the curses became associated with blue in other games. I wonder if I could pull up that enemy, though. Your enemy... I want to see what he looks like. Yeah, there you go. It's like a little, like, skull in a weird thing. They're in other games, too, I think. Yeah. They're in The Legend of Zelda. They're in Ocarina of Time. They're in Majora. Oh, they're in Wind Waker. Oh yeah, I remember this. Vaguely. They curse Link. They set you on fire. They prevent him from using items. Yes, okay. Yeah, this is a thing. They do show up in other games. I remember this. The red and blue distinction does not come back, because I remember being confused by it in this game. So this is the other fun part, is that playing Zelda 1 after having played every other Zelda game, if there's something I came into contact with in this game and I was like, whoa, what? Like, that means it just doesn't show up in any other game in the franchise. Like, I've gone through the series backwards, right? So, I mean, not really, I guess. I kind of went through the series in, like, weird mid-order. I started in the middle and then worked my way outwards. Yeah, the red and blue thing is new. That is true. However, I think those red and blue bubbles only show up in Master Quest, so they're not even in the base game. And then yes, in AOL they're just completely different. In Adventure of Link, they're like DVD screen logos, and you can just kill them. And they take away your magic, which sucks. They're bubbles in OOT and MM. In OOT, they don't curse you. Oh, I didn't know that. I played a lot less of Ocarina of Time than I did Majora's Mask. I 100%ed Majora because I really loved it, and then I actually only played Ocarina after Majora. I'm going to talk about this more tomorrow when I do my ratings. I'm going to be as objective as possible tomorrow, but I will be stating my bias before ignoring my bias, and I have a bias against Ocarina, I'll make it clear. I will not let that color my opinions, I promise. I will rate Ocarina as it deserves to be rated. However, I will admit I spent a lot more time in Majora. There you go, there's your bubbles. Apparently this is what they actually look like. Huh. This is what they look like in Majora, so they did a good job taking that forward. Pretty cool. Gleeoks are obviously based on Hydras, by the way, from Greek mythology. Pretty cool. I do love that little callback there. And then last but not least, traps and stone statues. Traps, kind of boring, don't really do much damage to you, and they're just an annoyance, really. I don't think there were any fun puzzles involving them or anything like that either. I would have liked to see more of that, but I mean, it's the first Zelda game. I'm not going to penalize it too much. 1 out of 5, it exists. Stone statues. Those things make some levels really hard. And genuinely, I gotta applaud that. Like, I was kind of having fun. In some places, the stone statues firing fireballs at you actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I feel like in second quest, the stone statues were freaking everywhere, right? Like, they were just all over the place firing at you. It was terrible. Terrible, but definitely worth it. Like, you had to watch out for the fireballs as well as doing whatever the rest of the challenge is, so I enjoyed that. I thought it was cool. Do like the red and blue bubbles, would be cool to have them in an extra dungeon in the future. You know what, that's true. I'm gonna go back and give the bubble an extra, like, 0.5 of a point, just because that specific mechanic was really cool. I enjoyed seeing the red and blue bubble thing. Like, having to run into an enemy in order to save yourself was neat. So the way it works for people who might not have seen this specific bit, let me see if I can actually pull it up, hold on. Because they're definitely in the end game, which means I'm gonna find a room that's got some around here somewhere. End game, bubbles. Are there any here? Maybe. Oh. This is, okay, this is the normal ones. This is what they look like normally here. Let me pull that up. There. This is what they look like normally. They're just kind of flashing different colors, which is valid. And then there's red and blue ones. See if I can find a different room with those. Here. So here's an example room with red and blue bubbles, and this is what makes bubbles so fun to fight. The fact that, so normally, if it was just like, I don't know, 1 blue Wizrobe and 2 orange ones, not too much of a problem. But the fact is, if you hit any of the red Wizrobes, you're screwed. You lose your shield forever. No, not shield, sorry. You lose your sword forever. The only way to get your sword back after hitting a red bubble is to go hit the blue bubble. So you'll see me intentionally running into the blue bubble like tons of times over and over again to see if I can recover it. And that made for a really fun challenge at times. Fun fact, if you die after hitting a red bubble, you do not get your sword back. The sword maintains itself. Like, you lost that freaking sword. The only way to get your sword back, you can't even kill yourself to get your sword back. The only way to get your sword back is to either hit a blue bubble or go to the fairies. I think the fairies bring it back. So really cool. Yes, you have to hit a blue bubble or go fairy heal, which is only necessary because you can keep your sword lost through death, which is so chill. Fun fact, when 2 stone statues are in the middle of the room, they won't fire when you stand between them. Ah, yeah, I figured this out nearing the end. I didn't quite figure it out, but I started to figure it out like near the end because I realized, so let's put this back up on the screen, hold on. So I realized that like in one of the levels, I was standing here and like enemies were coming at me. I think it was a room of likes. So they're like a bunch of likes and they were all just kind of like making their way downtown. And I was just hitting them with a sword. Like, all fine. And I realized that, like, if I'm standing here, the only way fireballs can be shot at me are from this direction. Because this guy doesn't fire at all. So I just kind of took my cue. I stood in this specific spot, and then I waited, and my shield blocks the fireballs, so it's okay. It was neat. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that's actually cool. Yeah, I never actually tried standing here. This would have been the optimal spot, huh? Next time. In a future playthrough. which is not probably gonna happen anytime soon. Okay. And now the fight to the death with Ganon, which does bring me to Ganon. Let's go ahead and pull up the Ganon boss fight, because I feel like if I'm gonna talk about enemies, I gotta talk about the enemy to end all enemies, right? Here's the Ganon boss fight, so it's right at the end, easy to find. Just go over here, put that up. Okay. I'm actually gonna rewind a little bit because it's so short. Like, Ganon is surprisingly easy in the first game, and I'm also gonna just double the speed so that it'll go a little bit faster. But here, so you walk in, you hold out the Triforce of Wisdom, and that's kind of, there's no strategy involved. You've just gotta run around as fast as you can, aiming in different directions, I feel like. Was there something I'm missing here? I guess now's your chance to tell me. Is there some easier way to find him? Or are you supposed to just be doing this? Like, running around and killing things? Because, like, I mean, otherwise, I don't know. I just continued stabbing in a circle until eventually I found him. And then again. And then I think 1 or 2 more times. Okay, so there is a trick. Neat. I'm wondering, yeah. Because I feel like there wasn't too much of a trick. If the trick is just that he has a pattern, I think that makes sense. I feel like there is a strategy, but it's speedrunner level. Okay, so that does make sense to me. Yeah, I feel like it wasn't hard, though, is the problem. Even if there was a trick, I didn't need one. Like, this is my first time. Not my first time in all the games. This is my first time in Second Quest. But I knew when I got here in Second Quest, I was like, it's not going to be difficult to beat Ganon. Like, this isn't going to be the problem. And it was easy, yeah. He does have patterns. I don't think that counts as a trick, though. Like, having a pattern of movement is not necessarily a trick. That said, yeah, like, I mean, patterns are patterns. Silver arrows is silver arrows. It's fine, I guess. Ganon gets much better in ALTTP. Yes, I agreed. He doesn't show up in AOL. In AOL, the final boss is Thunderbird and then Shadow Link. You don't fight Ganon at all because you killed him here. Congrats, you did it. He's blown up. You saw him explode. He's just gone. And then ALTTP takes place in the past, so you do get to fight Ganon again. From thence, Ganon becomes the mainstay of the series. He has obviously shown up in many, many Zelda games. Surprisingly less than you would think, which I appreciate, because I enjoy the non-Ganon bosses more than I do the Ganon bosses, honestly, at this point. Like, if I'm gonna fight Ganon, I'm like, ah, really? Frick, it's Ganon again? But if it's someone new, I'm like, ooh, ho ho, let's go. Majora, bring it on. Bellum, let's go. Miletus, hey. So, cool times, I appreciate it. Yeah, Ganon knew that he'd made it. Wait, that's kind of funny, yeah. Ganon knew that he needed to make a huge and difficult dungeon because he can't bet you himself, he's just bad. Genuinely true. Our wisdom and power is too amazing, I agree. Also, a posture check, thank you. Appreciate it. Gonna stretch my neck a little bit. Now that we've covered enemies, gonna go ahead and drink some water. Appreciate it. Gonna do that. No, you thought it was Ganon, but it was me. Yeah, pretty much. I did like that. I really liked that plot twist. I was unfortunately spoiled for it because someone commented on my artwork a little bit earlier. They didn't tell me about Null, but they told me that Ganon wasn't real, and I was like, ah, oh, I didn't know that. The game just came out. How do you know that? Oh, man. Huh. Alright, some water for me. And with that, we're done with enemies. Lots of fun enemies out there in the series. Let's just scroll back through them real fast, actually. Hold on. So we got this here. We got, all the way through. We got these guys, and these guys, and these guys, and these guys. This is for me to take screenshots later. Here, and there, and there, and there. And done. Okay, neat. Let's go! Feels weird, but I low-key want Null to come back. Yes, I definitely want Null to come back. I think it would be really cool. I love that Null feels like a legit threat. I was less impressed by Demise than I am by Null. By a significant margin. I'm sorry, Skyward Sword fans. But Null is too cool. Okay, and with that, I think we're done with enemies. There's not too much left I have to cover. Just 1 or 2 more things, and then I'm going to open up the floor to questions. So if you've got any questions, keep them in mind. Last thing I want to talk about is just art and music. So, I mean, it's the first game, you know? Like, the art and music could only be as good as the number of pixels and the amount of storage space they had on save here. But they're still really good. A lot of the tracks in this game become, once again, mainstays of the series. I think, like, many of the tracks yeah, it's definitely not bad at all for the time. I feel like with the minimal pixels they had, like, I mean, I'm just gonna put some gameplay on, you know? Here, let's do, like, an overworld part. Map 3, where I was going through and, like, and making my map. So you can actually see me making the map in this one. Like, look at this! This is from 1986! holy shit, you know? Like, that's kind of insane for 1986. I can very much tell what's happening. And there's colors, like, what? That's insane. Yeah, the overworld theme is iconic. It's catchy. It shows up again and again. I think the music in this one, I'm gonna rank like one level lower than Adventure of Link, because I love the music in Adventure of Link. I feel like they really stepped up the music game in AOL. Those tracks are just freaking iconic. I will also admit to a little bit of bias on that front, because AOL's music became music from Smash Bros. Brawl. And I think Melee as well. Both Melee and Brawl had AOL in them. I loved that music, so I was like, oh, this is the origin, 1987. Yeah, it's quite good. The art looks very of the time, I agree, but I think it was of the time but good. Like, I can tell exactly what's happening. It's got style, he looks cute, you know, he's doing his thing, I can figure out what exactly is going on. That's all I needed. That's all I need. I can imagine the rest, okay? And that's the thing that I really like about this game. It gives you just enough of a little, like, framework that you can go through and imagine the rest. Like, I could see myself walking the forests and braving the desert dunes and stabbing likes in the... They don't have faces. Stabbing likes in the like. Genuinely very cool, yeah. Better than Mother 1 for sure. Yeah, I guess so, huh? I haven't played Mother 1, I've played Mother 2. But I have seen Mother 1 and it's... Well, okay, Mother 1 is like a... I guess they had less budget. It's the thing. Yes, Hyrule Temple from Melee is based on AOL, technically. Yeah, the music definitely is. The temple theme from Smash Bros. Is peak music, I agree. It's from AOL. That's why I like it. I think when I first entered the Great Palace of Adventure of Link, there's a specific theme that, like, plays there, and it's so good. It's like, this is the theme. This is the theme from Smash. It was awesome. I love it. Yeah, okay, also fair. I do have to call it AOL because, like, what else am I going to say? Zelda 2? I mean, I guess I could, but still. I can't think of the movie You've Got Mail. Yeah, America Online, right? Yeah, I'm not enough of an American to know that. Yeah, otherwise, not too much to say about the music other than just, like, iconic. A lot of the things here, like, set off trends in the series that would continue from this day. I do have one more thing to say, actually, and I take it back. I love the fact that I just discovered, which is that at the end of the game, depending on what color ring you have, Dawn, which is to say the first Zelda, will be wearing the same dress. I think that is very cute, and I've actually changed Dawn from Wisdom versus Design a little bit. I've given her a bow at the top of her, you'll see it in, like, the next art. I'm gonna post a little bit more art. But I've given her, like, a bow. I think her bow should be green, and whenever, like, I don't know, I'm kind of, like, debating what thing is gonna cause the color-changing bow, but I've given her a color-changing bow, and I think it's very cute. And I love the fact that this is caused by the pixel constraints of the era, because what they did is when you get the next level ring, they just take the specific point in memory that is talking about what color gets rendered, and instead of making it green, they turn it into the next color, which is light blue. So everything in the game that was, like, that specific color of green gets turned into blue, like the strings on the raft, and, like, Dawn's dress, and all sorts of random things. So genuinely very fun game design, like a little quirk that gets shown in the game because of the game design of the time. I love things like that. I think it's neat. So shout out to that specific moment for being cute. AOL and AOI, good luck telling them apart. I know, it's gonna be so difficult. Why did they call their game Age of Imprisonment? God damn it. Why would they do this to me? All right. Anyways, I think that's all for art and music. Are we done? I think we might be done. I think that's it. So topic, outro, plus Q and A. There we go. All right, outro. This game was great. I am really glad that I left this one for last. Because after having played every other Zelda game, coming back to this one was weirdly a breath of fresh air and also just incredibly nostalgic at the same time. Playing this game felt like I was playing the first Zelda game I played. You know what I mean? Like, whichever game you played first, you come back to this one and you're like, ah, I see, this is where it all began. And yeah, I finished the series. I have now played every single Zelda game. With that said, this one is, you would think that, like, oh, the series must have, like, you know, they'd had to have started off somewhere and then, like, gotten up from there, right? But I gotta say, genuinely, this is one of the better ones. I really enjoyed this. I think they did a lot here that was unique and maintains its uniqueness. So I was talking about the gameplay loop where you maintain full health for as long as you can to keep the Master Sword beans. I feel like that's unique. I haven't really seen that been done to the same effect as it has in this game. And like various different items, ways of questing, the fact that you need to like go through the whole map and scour it for secrets, but you don't know what lurks behind any corner. All of that just really feels unique to this game. I also do want to give a shout out to the fact that Breath of the Wild has been told to me for a while to be kind of like pulled from this game. Like they took the mechanics of this game, they even used some of the I guess like software of this game. They used some of the software of this game to plan out Breath of the Wild, and then they built Breath of the Wild to have the same sort of experience as this one. And yeah, I can kind of feel that. I definitely see it. I think when I played ALTTP, I said the same thing, where I was like, ALTTP feels like the start of a franchise that lasted all the way up until maybe Skyward Sword, and then Breath of the Wild feels like a return to basics, and I think now that I've played Zelda 1, I can say that that's true. Like, Breath of the Wild feels like it came back to the vibe that I got from this game. Full health sword beam was common in Japanese games at the time. Ah, see, that's interesting. I think whatever that gameplay mechanic is, the fact that they introduced it to the Zelda franchise has made it really, really fun. That said, what other games had sword beams at this time? Like, what other... like, this game is pretty old. Were there other games out there? Like, other Japanese games out there? I'm kind of curious, because this one is from 1986. I feel like this had to have been one of the first to do this mechanic, but maybe not. I could be wrong. Definitely could be wrong. We can look up and find out the truth. The truth will be revealed. That said, it does show up again in the Zelda series as well, just not to the same effect that it does here, because usually the full health sword beam is a thing that you acquire near the end of the game. I spoke about this a bit more later. Tower of Druaga or Hydelide? Hydelide? Those could be true. I don't know. Never heard about them. Hydelide? Hydelide? Ooh, okay. Okay, neat. Yeah. Good to see some influence from other games in here then. That's really cool. Some games on TurboGrafx that had sword beams, but it would have been afterwards. Yeah, fair. As I said, a lot of Zelda games do also have full health sword beams. It's just that usually you acquire it near the end of the game, so it isn't a balance as you go through the game, keeping your health at the right moment to be able to use your sword beams. That part was unique to this game. It was a very interesting negative feedback loop. I think I spoke about this more in the gameplay section. If anyone's watching this bit and wants to go back, you can. Later, obviously. I don't think you can watch VODs as they're being played, can you? Maybe you can. I don't know. Alright, and yeah, that's basically it for the outro. This game was great. I really enjoyed it. Second quest was really freaking hard. I said this at the beginning and I'll say it again. I used saves... Let me try that one more time. I use save states liberally in this game. Yeah, it's freaking hard. Massive shout out to all the people who played it the original intended way back at the beginning. I did not. So yay! Yeah, animation definitely not bad. Music was great. All the story and stuff, genuinely very impressive. They thought through this stuff more than maybe they needed to, honestly. Or maybe I'm just thinking about it too much. This could be me. And last but not least, I will be, I think I said this before, I'll say it again as well, I will be holding a Zelda game ranking right after this, so tomorrow at 5 p.m. PT, I will be ranking every single Zelda game, and to facilitate that, I have chosen a bunch of different categories that I'm going to be ranking the games based on. I'm going to be trying to be as objective as possible. I will be ranking them based on how well they hold up today, not based on how well they were for the time. There is a reason I want to make that distinction. We'll get to that when we get to the specific game I'm talking about. Some of you know what I mean. And last but not least, I am also accepting community votes. That's going to be one of the columns in my ranking. I love data. If you love data too, help me contribute to my data. Go to tinyurl.com/Zelda-game-poll and place your vote. It's got to be in by tomorrow because I'm going to be pulling the data for tomorrow. I'm also not going to look at it until tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow to open up the results with me and see what people voted for so I can be outraged at the result. I think that's basically all, yeah. Any other questions, comments? If you want to know what game I'm going to play next, so I did speak about that. I've said in some of the past streams of this game that I might be playing either Tunic or Hollow Knight, but that has unfortunately changed because Hades 2 has been released, so I am going to be playing Hades 2 on Friday. Tune in on Friday to see me play the beginning of Hades 2. I loved Hades. Hades is amazing. If you like Zeldas, you might actually like Hades as well. It's kind of a story-based adventure-ish game. That said, it is a roguelike, which is a little bit of a different category. massively just really fun game though. Do recommend. I did not 100% Hades, but I did play a significant portion of it. I maxed out the I finished the whole storyline. I finished the extra storyline as well. I maxed out the keepsake cabinets too, but I didn't do like the entire final thing, so I'm excited to get into this one. I think it'll be fun. So yay! Ooh, interesting. A costume creation, Joe Generic. You've been saving, haven't you? All right, you're gonna have to tell me which outfit you want, and I will work on I'll work on recoloring. But you may have to give me a little bit. I might. I guess we'll see if I do that one. Maybe for the Zelda one, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think I'll be able to finish it by tomorrow. Is the problem. Yellow greenish like Tetra. Oh, someone else redeemed Tetra already. Actually, there is a Tetra outfit. It just looks really bad. Yeah, this is the problem. I think Mesa redeemed Tetra back in the day, and I did make a Tetra outfit, but I didn't wear it for a full stream because it just looks bad. This is the problem, okay? Like the Tetra hairstyle, it looks good on Tetra, it doesn't look good on me. Like not hairstyle, sorry. My hairstyle isn't gonna change. My hair color will change. And it looks like bright yellow. It looks like someone recolored my hair with highlighter because that is what Tetra looks like. Also, thanks for the redeem. I appreciate it. Heck yeah. Any other things? Any other things? Say this, never completed quest 2, so it was interesting to see the final dungeon. Yeah, definitely. It was interesting for me too. I was like, what the frick is going on here? I was also curious to see what all the dungeon shapes were gonna be after we found out that the first ones were just spelling out Zelda. I was like, okay, that's 5. What about 6, 7, 8, 9? Was pretty fun. You could do the pink-haired Link get up for stream tomorrow. Oh, I do have that. Hold on. I've been working on a script to take all my old hair dye redeems and put that, like, so that people can, like, kind of make any old hair dye redeem a thing for, like, 5 minutes and then take it off again. But that takes a little bit more coding. I haven't finished it yet. Yeah, by the way, if folks are wondering, yeah, hi, I'm Lynn. I do all my own artwork. I rigged and drew this entire model from scratch myself. Everything you see on the screen is my assets. I do my own emotes. I do my own recolors. I also play hardcore strategy games. I do challenge runs of tactical RPGs like Triangle Strategy, Fire Emblem. We did like maddening, deathless runs, random army runs where chat spins a wheel at every level to see what units I get to bring into the map, no incapacitation, etc., all sorts of things. Are you single? I am not available for you guys, unfortunately. I don't fraternize with chat. Unfortunately, no. Is your avatar hair purple or blue? Both. Definitely both. Hear me out, you could do pink hair Link. I answered that one. Since it's quite the occasion, I answered that one too. Okay, cool. Did I read all the things? I think I did. Any other questions? Playing Hades 2 on the birthday of Echoes of Wisdom. Oh yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, it's fine. Echoes of Wisdom has a Link that dies, right? So he's just, you know, he's dead. He's in the underworld. We're gonna go rescue Silent. Hashtag my streamer? What does that mean? Pumpkin, what does that mean? If Tetra's only been done maybe Dona style? Ooh. Ooh, yeah, Gerudo. Oh, that'd be cool. Or sorry, Gerudo. Yeah, I could do Gerudo Lin. I think that'd be really fun. I've never done that, actually. I never even thought of that, actually. That's kind of neat. I'll do Gerudo Lin. That's a great redeem, Joe Generic. Maybe it should be pronounced Gerudo because it has to like rhyme like generic, right? See? If generic is generic, then it should be Gerudo. Oh, it means you're a streamer I watch. Oh, neat. Okay, I don't know. Thanks. This is one of those things where I feel like an old person. I'm like, what's this hashtag that you all speak of? What are these? Yeah, I only started streaming because I used to play tactical RPG challenge runs. Like I would just do challenge runs of Fire Emblem on my own, like for my own fun. And then my friend Sanagi was like, oh, you can do this thing called VTubing where you like stream but you don't show your face. I'm like, oh, that's really neat. So, don't know you personally, you know? Yeah, exactly. But hey, I love chat anyways. Hearts on the screen. Linderudo. It works. No, it doesn't. Oh man. Like to think that the teleport rooms from Zelda 1 use the COH Sheikah teleporting stones because Silent would yeah, he would, wouldn't they? It's just staircases though. It's just normal ass staircases. Staircases exist in Echoes. Yeah, thanks for all the heart redeems, folks. I appreciate it. Okay, with that, we'll end the stream. I think we've gone slightly over time. I planned on ending within 2 hours, and we ended with almost exactly 2 hours. So hey, not bad. Not bad. Look at that. Me sticking to schedule in this stream with the frizz? No way. All right, let's go raid somebody. Let's go say hi to somebody else. Tried to open up Twitch and that didn't work. Let's do it on this one instead. Who is doing a stream today? Many people doing streams. Looks like Tipsy Tails is doing a stream. Let's go raid Tipsy. Raid Tipsy Tails. There we go. Go say hi to Tipsy, folks. Thinking of Silent, you didn't mention your theory on the old man. This is true. Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Marionette. I do have a theory about the old man. I can't reveal too much about that theory. The people who have watched this stream know the theory. If you're here from Wisdomverse, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna say anything. Watch the stream if you want to know, but I am gonna keep it a secret from the people of Wisdomverse for a little bit longer. But I do have a theory. I do have a theory. Thanks for mentioning it. This is exactly the amount of secret I wanted to leave people with. If you're here from Wisdomverse and you're watching this and you're like, wait, what the frick is Lynn talking about? Either it's already been revealed by now, who knows? Or check out the stream if you really want to know, because there are specific moments that I need to reference for that, and I don't want to reveal it to too many people. Because I have plans. Plans upon plans upon plans. Alright, yeah, and thanks for stopping by. I'll see you all tomorrow for the Zelda game ranking, where I'll finally get to see what the community thinks and then tell everyone that you're wrong. I'm kidding, of course. See you tomorrow, folks. Bye. Oh yes, that's perfect. I need to end with that. It's a secret to everyone. Bye.